that all the autograph hunters all over the world are going to go and try and get both of those players to sign, and it'll be worth an absolute fortune in years to come.
And after the formalities are completed between Messi and Salah, they exchange the pennants. There is a quick embrace between the two of them, and now, in a moment, they're going to be on opposing sides. Argentina's team, 3 changes from their match against Cape Verde, which I'm sure you enjoyed, however you were consuming that. What an amazing match that was. Extra time before Argentina saw off Cape Verde. So Martinez is in goal, Molina at right back, then Romero and Lisandro Martinez, and then Tagliafico coming in because Medina is injured. 2 other changes, Paredes and Alvarez, Julian Alvarez into the starting lineup with Lautaro Martinez on the bench. So the midfield for Argentina, Paredes with De Paul and McAllister either side of him, Enzo Fernandez of Chelsea, and then Julian Alvarez and Lionel Messi. It's his second start, Alvarez. Lautaro Martinez had started the previous 4 matches, but as I say, on the bench today. And Egypt, a couple of changes from them. Lachine is back from suspension. Haitham Hassan plays as well, with Marmouche among the substitutes, as we were discussing before the match, and Fati as well. So Shobia, the goalkeeper, Haney, the right back, Yasser Ibrahim, Rabia and Karim Hafez at left back, then Attia and Lachine in midfield with Ashua, Salah, Haitham Hassan and Mustafa Ziko. So we are ready. Egypt, never been this far in a World Cup before. Argentina, 3 times winners, the holders, 6 times finalists, attempting to become the first team to win 2 in a row since Brazil over 60 years ago. And it is Argentina who kick off here in Atlanta. The winners of this will play tonight's match between Switzerland and Colombia in the quarterfinals. And Argentina, in the blue and white striped shirts, white shorts, white socks, in possession. Ball played over the halfway line, but Egypt have it back with Haney, the right back, but Argentina win possession back now on the left flank. And it comes all the way back to the halfway line, where Paredes will just put his foot on the ball because there is an injury over on the left-hand side. And one of the Argentina players is down, having stretched for it. And so it's Enzo Fernandez. So we will just have a little stoppage there. I think, did he just get his toe stood on?
I think he got his foot stuck in the ground and his knee twisted. It was a challenge over on the far side. It's interesting to see Egypt, the way that they've lined up. They're looking very much like they're going to be a back 5 out of possession. Ashur, who we expected to play on the right-hand side, he's over on this left-hand side acting as like a false wing-back. So when they're out of possession, they're looking like a 5. But immediately you've seen early signs from Egypt that they're going to press high and they're going to try and set a really quick tempo early in this game.
Yeah, Ashur, who has been playing on the right, but as Paul says, is on the left, the man who scored 2 goals for Egypt at this World Cup. And Argentina, I think Enzo Fernandez is all right, didn't need treatment, and he's able to continue. Listen to this, inside this ground. There's the long pass from Martinez, looking for the run of Alvarez. It's headed away, but Alvarez has got it back. This could be dangerous. Into the penalty area, McAllister with the run, but the challenge came in on him from Haney, the right back, who did well, actually, because that was an excellent run from McAllister.
Really good
that's
run.
The best of McAllister, isn't it, doing that?
When he runs from deep like that, and that's the problem that this Argentina team have got with Messi. You don't know where he's going to pop up, and McAllister running from deep, they're very difficult to mark.
Yes, so this is the Atlanta Stadium. It's hot outside, up to around about 90 degrees. As the woman in the lift told me this morning, she's actually from round here, and she said, yeah, it's going to be 90 degrees, as though that was just a matter of course.
But it's amazing how the locals are not bothered, are they?
No, not in the slightest.
We've walked 20 minutes to the hotel. I look like I got out of a shower, and then you see the locals, and they're just walking around with a jumper over the shoulders.
Here's De Paul, McAllister now through the middle. Messi gets his first touch. Messi's 31st appearance in a match at a World Cup finals, extending his record, but then the long pass forward is way beyond anyone in a blue and white shirt, and it's through for a goal kick. Argentina 0, Egypt 0, and the drums are in. Both the Egypt fans and the Argentina fans have got big bass drums, so you'll hear that as part of the rhythm of this match. Egypt playing the ball out from the back to Hafez, but it's played all the way back to Shobia, the goalkeeper. One of 4 goalkeepers in the Egypt squad, which is most unusual, Paul.
Very. When I was doing the prep on Egypt coming into this tournament, you did wonder why they'd chosen 4. I mean, they've got the option, they can.
And it was a bit of a choice, wasn't it, between El Shenawi and Shubia as to who would be the first choice, but it is Shubia who's got the nod. He's down there, all in yellow. Ball still inside his penalty area. Egypt trying to play it out from the back. And then Lachine, who was suspended for that match in the round of 32 against Australia, but has come straight back in. Lachine, the number 17. And Egypt enjoying a period of possession inside their own half, and then Ashua is challenged, and he's got a problem as well. He's just been caught, and he's gone down. I think he's been caught amidships, so he'll be able to recover okay. Yeah, although he's got back on his feet, but he's still holding the affected area and is leaning over. But I think he'll be okay. Yeah, still leaning over Ashua. Argentina won the throw-in, and it is taken, and they've got the ball on the left-hand side, but that is given away. And now might be a chance for Atia, but Argentina quickly onto them, but that is given as a foul by the referee, by the way. Enzo Fernandez committing the foul. Francois Letessier, the referee, one of the best referees in Europe. He's refereed the Champions League final and many other big games. We're used to seeing him, aren't we, in the Champions League. Actually, he's going to be in charge of the Super Cup as well when Aston Villa play Paris Saint-Germain next month, which is a match you'll be able to hear with us on 5 live from Salzburg. But let's not talk about next season, Paul. We've still got plenty on our plate from this season. And it is Egypt in possession with Hassan over on the right-hand side. So Ashua has previously played on the right, but Hassan has come into the team for his first start, and he's playing on the right. Ball played down by Ashua, but Argentina are able to deal with that. And then Ashua just skips away, and as he stabbed the ball out towards the left-hand side, there was the left-back, Hafez, who gives it back to him. This is good stuff from Ashua down the left. He's challenged, goes down, wants a free kick. Letessier, the referee's not interested, and Argentina have got possession back with Paredes.
Yeah, it looks like it could be a threat, Ashua, down this left-hand side, playing as a makeshift left-back, as you say, was on the right before. He knows how to play there. He's a versatile player.
Egypt have won it back, but it comes to nothing with Rabiat on the left-hand side, and Egypt go back towards the halfway line. I know we spoke before the match about how it's a relatively unchanged Argentina squad. You mentioned it yourself, Paul, but 9 of this team started the World Cup final 4 years ago. That just really underlines, doesn't it? And as well as that, Montiel came on, Paredes came on, he's in the starting lineup, and Lautaro Martinez as well came on as a substitute. So 3 others as well who may well be involved today.
Well, there's only 5 in the entire squad that's changed from that side. So the point that you're making about an ageing squad, certainly experienced and tournament veterans, but will the age play part?
Oh, there's a block. There's a blatant block by Tagliafico on Hassan, who's trying to break away. Played the ball forward, past Tagliafico, who's just stepped into his path, and that is a free kick to Egypt on the right-hand side, who I must say have started well.
I was just going to say, there's certainly no lack of confidence from them. They're not giving Argentina any respect. They're getting in the faces, they're pressing high, and they're quite happy to go and take them on at the moment. And Hassan, who's come on the right-hand side, he's been excellent. He's got round the outside there, and he's won his side a free kick, which Mo Salah's looking like he's going to put into the box. The boos and cheers, by the way, one of those
social media people who isn't terribly popular has just been shown on the big screen. So
how do you know that?
Well,
just somebody must have warned you that was happening before the game.
I'm aware of that person. Egypt playing the ball in towards the back post, but Argentina are just able to clear that away. Lisandro Martinez did well there. The Manchester United man was aware of the danger, and Argentina have got it away to the halfway line.
You know, one of those social media persons. Do they have a name?
It's Speed, isn't it? Speed?
I don't have no idea, Joe.
Yeah, something like that. And he was totally unaffected by the fact that he was being roundly booed. That's, I think, the biggest boo I've heard for someone that's been shown on a big screen since Gianni Infantino the other night. Argentina playing it forward. And Enzo Fernandez chasing after it. And then he played it onto Haney, but it bounced back onto him and out of play, and it's a throw into Egypt. It's 0-0 if you've just joined us on 5 Live, and there is a choice of listening right now. As you'll know, our Wimbledon coverage continues. That right now is on Sports Extra 2 on your BBC Sounds app, and the latest T20 between England and India will be on Sports Extra very shortly. It starts at 5:30 UK time from Trent Bridge. Argentina 0, Egypt 0. And ball with Argentina way down below us with Molina. Julian Alvarez dropping deep. That's the big decision, isn't it, to bring in Julian Alvarez instead of Lautaro Martinez. What a great option that is as well. Argentina curling the ball forward to Messi inside the penalty area, but the defensive work was very good from Rabia, who came across shoulder to shoulder with Messi, who was running diagonally across the penalty area away from goal, and he was able to put it out for a throw.
Yeah, he stuck tight to Messi there. That's the runs that he makes, the little magician. Fernandez it was who dropped in the pocket, ball over the top.
Ball slipped forward now. De Paul inside the box, could be offside. De Paul plays it across, and then it's shot wide by Enzo Fernandez. He should have put it in the net, but it wouldn't have counted anyway. He was offside, De Paul.
I think De Paul must have known he was offside because he was given the freedom of the penalty area. I mean, he was good 3 or 4 yards offside. Ball slipped through in behind to him, gets through in behind this Egyptian defence for the first time, takes his time, looks for the option, pulls it back to Enzo Fernandez, and he can only be thankful that he was offside, because that is a terrible miss from Fernandez.
Argentina 0, Egypt 0, and it is almost 12 here in Atlanta, this massive city, and this stadium very close to the city centre, so it's within walking distance for most of the people, I would imagine, who've come here for this match, and not too far away from the famous Centennial Olympic Park, a bit of greenery in the middle of Atlanta, which is a fan festival park for the World Cup. As the ball is played forward by McAllister for the run down the left-hand side, but Haney's able to come across for Egypt and play the ball back to his goalkeeper. Egypt in the red shirts, black shorts and black socks, and Egypt playing it out from the back. Ashua comes for it. Then Hafez from left back continues to come forward, but I think he's overrun that, and he was caught though as well by Enzo Fernandez. Another foul by Enzo Fernandez. They're beginning to mount up. Free kick to Egypt in the centre circle, Paul Robinson.
They're doing well, the wide players for Egypt, because what they're doing is they're causing an overload in that midfield, and Argentina at times in this game already are getting caught. There's only Leandro Paredes that will sit and hold deep. De Paul, McAllister, Fernandez, they're all looking to get up in support of the two front players, and there are spaces there for Egypt to exploit.
Salah not been able to get into the match at all yet, Paul, and we've played 10 minutes.
They've been effective in other areas. I think he's been well marshalled at the back at the moment by Martinez. That'll be an interesting one to keep an eye on, whether he actually has enough of Martinez and roams over to the other side to go to Romero.
Yeah, Martinez and Salah. Manchester, a little bit of Manchester United and Liverpool here in Atlanta. Well, former Liverpool now, of course, as we have to say about Mo Salah, the free agent.
Was linked heavily with La Liga this morning, I saw.
Was he?
Yeah,
I didn't see that. Namely? Which club?
No, it didn't mention a club, it just said a move to La Liga. I mean, you can only presume, can't you?
Well, it's got to be one or the other, hasn't it?
Yeah, surely.
Wouldn't that be an interesting move at 34 years old?
I think
he'd play a part, wouldn't he?
Well, absolutely, when you look at Messi at his age and what he's able to do.
Ball's headed away by Haney for Egypt, and it's out for a throw down the left-hand side, which is taken back to Tagliafico in Argentina. Here's Paredes, he's one of the 3 players who's come in, as well as Alvarez, Paredes and Tagliafico for the injured Medina. Argentina with Enzo Fernandez. Julian Alvarez on the edge of the box. Tagliafico gives it back to Enzo Fernandez. Jet black hair of Enzo Fernandez. And then back to the halfway line, where Argentina will play it between the 2 central defenders. The Tottenham captain, probably former Tottenham captain, Romero, who... well, he wasn't credited with the winning goal, was he? It went down as an own goal against Cape Verde, but important presence inside the opposing penalty area, as we know that he has been for Tottenham Hotspur during the course of this season. Christian Romero with the 6 goals that he scored for Spurs in that struggle against relegation that they eventually won. Egypt winning the ball back in centre field, and then Ashur steps in and he was caught, although that's being heavily disputed. And I think my feeling was, we're a long way away, but my feeling was he was caught. But free kick's given, Messi complains about it, De Paul complains about it. And now, Paul, we'll see definitively that as De Paul came in with the challenge on Ashur.
I don't think De Paul helps himself, because he's jumped into the challenge with 2 feet, and I think he realises it and pulls out, and he doesn't make contact, but the referee's right there and he's seen the action. I think that's why he's blown up.
Here's Hassan for Egypt. They took the free kick quickly. Hassan, willowy figure, gets the crossover into the penalty area, but that's nodded away, headed away by Molina to comparative safety. And it's been a decent start to the match, even though neither goalkeeper's had a save to make yet. Egypt, little ball over the top. That's for Haney pushing forward from right back. He's got a toe to that, he brought it down, and he's managed to play it out off Lisandro Martinez for a first corner of the match to Egypt.
Good wide play once again. That's where they've had most of the joy. You touched on it there. Mo Salah hasn't really got into the game because that's the way they've been trying to do their attacking, almost down the flanks.
Corner taken short. Ashua gets it back. Ashua pulls it onto his left foot, beats his man, and then tries to beat him again, but will play it back, and the ball is curled into the Argentina penalty area, and it's headed in! Ibrahim, the central defender, 6 yards out. We have a shock scoreline. The holders Argentina 0, Egypt 1.
Ibrahim stuns Atlanta and all those blue and white shirts away to our left. The goal in front of them has just been pierced, and it was a short corner routine. The ball ends up coming into the box, and it's a really good header from Ibrahim at the far post. He climbs the highest and he's the strongest, and he powers it past Emi Martinez. The goalkeeper's got no chance, and the bench beneath us, the manager, the substitutes and all the staff, we're getting shots on the screen now. The Argentina players shaking their heads in disbelief and looking at each other. It's Ashur on the right hand side, lays the ball back, and it's a lovely out-swinging ball to the far post, and he gets inside Martinez. There's a lot said about Lisandro Martinez and the size of him as a central defender, and he gets out-muscled by his opposite central defender at the far side. He gets in front of him and he rises high, powers it past Martinez. Nothing he can do, but what a start that is for Egypt.
They've played well, and now they've got the lead. Egypt, never been this far into a World Cup tournament before. This year, the first time that they had even won a match at a World Cup. At the 9th attempt it was, before they beat New Zealand. First time they've won a knockout match at the World Cup, albeit on penalties in the previous round, in the round of 32. And now here they are, winning 1-0 against the holders in the round of 16. And they're gaining a bit of momentum in the competition.
They're here with nothing to lose, and they're playing with freedom, and they're not playing with fear. Give them a lot of credit. They've come here and they've not set up against Argentina to try and protect themselves, to try and be defensive. They're playing with freedom. They're playing forward, they're going at Argentina, and they've got their just reward. It's an incredible start for them.
And Yasser Ibrahim is the man who will have his name up on lights in the massive wraparound 360-degree video screen as Egypt come again towards the edge of the penalty area. Salah on the edge of the box, receiving the ball in the D, might have been shoved over there, wanted a free kick. I think he's laughing at referee Letizia because he didn't give him it.
I think it was a free kick. I mean, we see Mo Salah go over far too often and regularly in the Premier League, but actually that was it. From up here it looked like an initial contact from Paredes.
So Argentina 0, Egypt 1, and Argentina again have work to do. And the ball's out of play for a throw-in to Egypt halfway inside their own half. They've now scored 7 goals at this World Cup, Egypt, which is 2 more than their combined total at all of the previous World Cups that they've played at. Mind you, it's about time that they improved their World Cup record. You know, the football nation that Egypt is. The fact that they have won the Africa Cup of Nations a record 7 times. But in the World Cup, time after time after time, they've either not been there or they've disappointed. There's a foul by Haney and a free kick to Argentina, 7 or 8 yards inside their own half.
Well, they're pressing high again, Egypt. They're not sitting back after the goal. Snapping into challenges. It was a foul. And I think Argentina at the moment are quite stunned as to the start that Egypt have had. That they didn't expect them to play at this tempo or this pace. They're certainly going to have to get used to it, and quickly.
Yes, Julian Alvarez just got his foot stood on there. So, free kick, but he's okay. And Argentina, they've got a battle on their hands here, because we know that Egypt can be difficult to break down, all of their opponents. have found that to be the case. They've actually conceded just the one goal in all 4 matches that they've played Egypt. Messi receives the ball, he's come deep for it on the halfway line and then passes it forward with the angle. Enzo Fernandez now, Tagliafico inside the box, challenge comes in on him, and that has been given as a penalty. Well, Haney stepped into Tagliafico, who went tumbling down inside the penalty area. Again, from this distance, I'm not absolutely sure about that, but referee Letitia, much closer, immediately pointed to the spot.
Oh, what a brilliant ball, first of all. Enzo Fernandez, I think it is, slots it in behind the Egypt defence. And it's a run from left-back from Tagliafico, gets inside Haney. And he gets there first as Tagliafico, and he takes the ball away from Haney. But what they've got to work out, the officials, is Tagliafico goes looking for this. He leaves his right foot into Haney. He knows exactly what he's doing. He initiates the contact, puts his legs between it. He's not going to overturn that.
Surely they'll stick with the referee's call for this.
That's a penalty. Yeah. He's not going to overturn that. I think he got there first, did Tagliafico, which is the telling factor. And actually, as he left his trailing leg there, whether he instigated the penalty, whether he knew the contact was coming or not, the contact in the end arrived. It's a penalty.
Well, the Egyptian lead might not last long, because you know who is placing the ball on the penalty spot. It's Argentina 0, Egypt 1. That was a real stunner, the header from Ibrahim. But Lionel Messi is standing there with his hands on his hips. So the Egyptian goalkeeper, Mostafa Choubia, remember, he has missed a penalty already at this World Cup. Lionel Messi, but he's staring at the ball, no distractions. Argentina holds its breath as Messi, left-footed, has his penalty saved again! That's 2 he's missed at the World Cup, and it stays 1-0 to Egypt. Choubia dives to his left and got both hands to it, and the man who's the joint top scorer at this World Cup has now failed for a second time from the spot. And Egypt lead 1-0 still.
Oh, that's incredible. There's absolutely nobody inside this stadium expected Lionel Messi to miss that penalty. And he stepped up and he went for a safety one with his left foot. He went for the hard whip across the goalkeeper for the side netting. But Choubia, he read it on his line, dives away to his left-hand side. And there's no easy save for a goalkeeper, but from Messi's standards and from his point of view, it's nowhere near the corner of the goal. It's nowhere near inside the post. Credit the goalkeeper with a save, but for Messi, you would expect him to tuck that inside the side netting, inside the post. That was a good yard inside the goal, John.
Yeah, Messi, who missed a penalty against Austria in the group stage, has now had this one saved by Choubia. And something's been going on out of our sight, actually, in this stadium, believe it or not. From our commentary position, we can't see the near touchline, and something was happening down there. And I think I saw the referee with a yellow card in his hand, but I have to confess, it's a bit of a mystery what has happened there out of our sight, and whether it's a player or whether it's a member of the coaching staff who's received the yellow card. We'll just have to wait for confirmation on that.
Well, when the penalty was finished being taken, there was a lot of the coaching staff and the manager on the field. I think they might have thought it was a foul on Ashur in the build-up, the Egyptian player who's on this near side, because he was still on the floor while the penalty was being taken. And I think when the penalty was being taken, a lot of the staff were there attending to him on the pitch, and then the referee, as you say, came over to this near side, and somebody has received the yellow card. But with all these new commentary temporary positions that have been built up, they're all stacked up, and we can't see the first yard of the touchline, can we?
Yeah. And listen, we're not complaining. This great experience of being here at this World Cup. But it does seem strange that we have been drenched several times in commentary positions, and now we've got one where we can't see the whole of the pitch.
Drenched in both water and tequila.
Yes. As Argentina 1-0 down. Messi, having missed from the penalty spot, the chance to go clear again. The other 3 joint top scorers, Mbappe and Haaland and himself. But it stays 1-0 to Egypt. And I think however many thousand Argentina supporters inside this stadium couldn't believe their eyes when that ball didn't end up in the back of the Egyptian net.
I don't think however many thousand Argentina supporters could believe it. I think the Egyptian supporters, the commentators, the media, the press, I don't think anybody inside this stadium, when Messi stepped up to take that penalty, expected him to miss it. But for his standards, it was a poor penalty.
So after that, well, That's been an eventful first 23 minutes, hasn't it, Paul, as we have the first dreaded water break, which of course is totally unnecessary in this stadium, which is air-conditioned cool. If they're playing outside in Atlanta, then maybe, because the temperature would be over 30 degrees. But anyway, it's a chance for Lionel Scaloni, the coach, to come across and just settle things down after what's happened over the course of the last 10 minutes. So more from Paul Robinson in a moment, but let's see what the latest is from Wimbledon with Jonathan Overend.
A result, first of all, John, in the men's singles. Alexander Zverev, the number 2 seed, has set up a quarter-final meeting with Taylor Fritz after completing his victory, which started yesterday against Yuri Lehechka. That was in 4 sets. And on court number 1 at the moment, I'm watching a brilliant match between Naomi Osaka and Karolina Muchova. And it's Muchova, the former French Open finalist, who has edged the first set on a tie-break 7-4. Osaka, who's been brilliant at Wimbledon so far, who needs to come from behind in this one, leads by 2-1 in the second set.
Thank you very much, Jonathan. So the Wimbledon commentary continues on Sports Extra 2 and all across the BBC, of course. Quarter-finals day tomorrow, so from 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon as well, you'll hear that on 5 Live. I can tell you that the Atlanta Falcons dancers are doing their thing on a stage in the middle of the stand to our right, while the players emerge and walk back towards their positions to resume after the water break. And we can also get the latest from the third T20, which should be underway now at Trent Bridge. Nikesh Rugani?
Yeah, just a few minutes until we get underway here. The third T20 international between England and India. England leading the series 1-0, of course, but it is India that have won the toss here and decided to have a bowl first. England unchanged from their victory at Old Trafford, and India make one change. Prince Yadav, the seam bowler, comes in for the leg spinner Ravi Bishnoi, who took some tap in that match at Old Trafford. It does mean that India stick with their teenage sensation at the top of the order, 15-year-old Vaibhav Suryavanshi, who hit both Jofra Archer and Josh Tongue for huge sixes at Old Trafford. He's here to excite the crowd, but India are going to be bowling first when we get underway in around 3 minutes' time.
Very good, thanks Nikesh. And the ball-by-ball commentary will be on Sports Extra on your BBC Sounds app, as the players now, the Egypt players, are just getting themselves back into their positions for the resumption of this match, with the score Argentina 0, Egypt 1. Still lots of big sport to come on 5 Live this summer, not too far away, the Open at Royal Birkdale. But off they go again, 26 minutes on the clock, Egypt leading by that headed goal from Yasser Ibrahim in the 15th minute. Ashua, who played the ball in for Ibrahim to nod it in, has got it now centre field, plays it back towards the centre circle, and now the man who conceded the penalty, Haney, with it on the right-hand side, and then he gets it back just inside his own half. Egypt, again, sending bodies forward. Lisandro Martinez, near the edge of his own box, volleys it away. Then Enzo Fernandez with a touch. Alexis McAllister brings it down, that receives warm applause from the Argentina fans. Paredes, then back to the edge of the area to Christian Romero of Tottenham Hotspur in the orange boots. Finds the pass. Messi's found some space here just inside his own half. Messi with the outside of his boot gives it to Julian Alvarez. He eventually is able to get it down, the Atletico Madrid forward. Julian Alvarez now did the full 360 degrees. Then he was challenged by Atia, but he got away from him as well. Ball played to Tagliafico on the left-hand side. Tagliafico then back towards the halfway line, and Lisandro Martinez will use Paredes. Paredes to the right to Molina. Nahuel Molina. Now De Paul. De Paul's dangerous looking cross. Oh, good save! Good save! The header from the edge of the 6-yard box. Bang on target from McAllister, but kept out by Shabir, who's saved the penalty, and now a reaction save to keep out the header from Alexis McAllister.
He's got to score. He just has to score, John. He's absolutely put on a plate for him by Rodrigo De Paul. Super ball just to the edge of the 6-yard box, out swinging. McAllister completely free header, and inexcusably he heads it straight to the goalkeeper, Shambier. I mean, it's a good save from Shambier, but he doesn't have to dive, and from that range with a free header, McAllister just has to score.
Well, if Argentina are going to carve out chances like that, then it won't be 1-0 to Egypt for much longer.
No, Chambeer's going to be a lot busier than he already has been.
Argentina 0, Egypt 1. BBC Radio 5 live from the World Cup in Atlanta. And now Messi into the penalty area, back to the edge of the box to Enzo Fernandez, who shoots, but there were two Egyptian players in front of him, and the ball deflected off one of them high into the air, and it dropped into the gloves of goalkeeper Shubia. And as he overarmed it away downfield for Salah was challenged, and the ball ran beyond him, and Argentina have got possession back inside their own half. So the surprise is on again. Argentina have got their work cut out again. Oh, that's missed by Lisandro Martinez, and Salah couldn't get it down. It bounced up awkwardly for him, and he was just inside the penalty area, but he couldn't get it down, and Romero was able to come across. And now Argentina again with Messi then to Enzo Fernandez, Alvarez ahead of him, Enzo Fernandez on his right foot, curling ball, here's De Paul across into the middle near the penalty spot, but that is cleared away by Rabia, and Egypt can clear that danger. Lisandro Martinez again through the middle, Alexis McAllister challenge, and that's a foul by Atia. Free kick to Argentina in the middle of the Egyptian half for that foul on McAllister.
This is bubbling quite nicely, isn't it?
Isn't it?
The Egyptians have certainly come here to have a go at the Argentines, but I think the team talk there from Scaloni will be, don't panic, keep doing what we're doing. The opportunities that they've had there, you saw the opportunity there from McAllister where the goalkeeper had to make another save. You do keep thinking if they keep knocking at this door, it will eventually open.
However, this is the stadium, Paul, where you and I watched England against DR Congo, when DR Congo led for well over an hour, and England and their followers were certainly getting twitchy that day. I think those Argentina commentators behind us as well will also be feeling a little unsettled by the events so far.
We haven't heard them yet, have we? So I think if the ball is to hit the net, we may well hear them.
We'll hear them if Messi scores from here, because this is probably the best part of 30 yards out, isn't it, this free kick? The wall is, well, that's got to be 6 yards outside of the penalty area. Messi is going to take this free kick from way out, left-footed, curls it around the wall, and the goalkeeper had to save it. Shubia diving to his right, got both palms to it.
They're claiming he left it. I tell you what, if he's left that, the goalkeeper is brave, and he is. He's brave. He's a braver goalkeeper than I am. Messi's hit this free kick from all of 35 yards.
That had some bend on it, didn't it?
He's bent it around the wall. The goalkeeper's gone full length to his right, and at the very last minute, he's just put his hands inside the post and gone, I'll leave that.
It hit the post.
What a chance.
He's pulled his arms away.
He's pulled his arms away, and then he just puts his arms up in the air. The coolest man inside the stadium, and goes, yeah, knew it was going wide.
It's hit the, as Messi looked at it, it hit the outside of the left post, but even so, you're dealing with centimetres, aren't you?
He could have been left very, very red-faced, the goalkeeper there, very.
However, he's already saved a Messi penalty. He saved from McAllister. One of those days where you're thinking, yeah, things are going my way today.
Well, his dad will be proud, won't he? Ahmed Chambert, 107 caps, played at the 1990 World Cup as well, so he's certainly got history in a World Cup.
But Messi, what a free kick that was. Quite apart from what the goalkeeper did or didn't do with it.
And from that distance, as a goalkeeper, I'm thinking all day long, yeah, let him shoot. And it's one of those distances where you think, is a wall advantageous or not for the goalkeeper? Because it kind of gets in the way. But the wall was perfect there for Messi, so he could curl it round it.
Yeah, the bend he had that round the wall. And it was just inches away from actually forcing a save by Shubia.
He should have saved it, John. You don't take them risks.
So we're actually calling that a misjudgment by him. The interesting thing about his dad, did you know this, Paul? Ahmed Shubia, at that World Cup in 1990, when they played the Republic of Ireland, that was the match when Egypt played so many back passes to the goalkeeper. As Egypt play a ball into the box, Romero comes and heads it away, and that's a foul on Alvarez. Free kick to Argentina, half inside their own half, and quite a strong challenge actually on him by Lachine, but it will be a free kick to Argentina. Yeah, that was the match back in 1990 where Egypt played so many back passes to the goalkeeper, that was a big contributing factor to the change in the laws in terms of back passes to goalkeepers.
And it's been a huge change, hasn't it? And I think when you look at the way the game's evolved ever since, that stage where you were able to pass it back to the goalkeeper, then the role of a goalkeeper changes, but now the role of a goalkeeper has gone even to a different level.
So if you've just switched on, if you've just got back into your car, finished your day at work, there is a big shock in the making here, because the holders Argentina are losing 1-0 to Egypt, and Alvarez is okay after going down. Egypt does well, actually. Hafez has really caught the eye from left back, and he skips over a challenge and then plays it back to Attia inside his own half, and the ball now out towards the right-hand side to Haney. Yes, Egypt leading 1-0, but Messi has also had a penalty save, the second penalty that he's missed at this World Cup, the joint top scorer at this tournament, and the record World Cup goal scorer, the 20 goals that he scored in his 6 World Cups. Egypt coming forward, but with this scoreline, Salah and co are going through and Messi and co are going out. Long way to go yet though, although in saying that, it is only 10 minutes away from half-time. And here's Ashua in the middle of the Argentina half, but he's crowded out this time, Enzo Fernandez, but then that's excellently won back, and Hafez won it back, and then rather inadvisedly had a potted goal from over 30 yards out, and it was way wide.
He got extremely carried away there, didn't he, Hafez? The high press and the tempo and the adrenaline was run through him. He just dispossessed Messi about 40 yards from goal. He had a swing at it with his right foot, and it went horribly wrong. Yeah,
the tension and the nervousness after all they went through against Cape Verde for the Argentina supporters, it'll be beginning to build here in this indoor arena. Huge windows to our left, sort of corrugated windows, but that lets in the daylight, and when you're at that end of the stadium to our left, you can see the Atlanta city centre skyscape. Here's Tagliafico, angles it back to Enzo Fernandez, left corner of the box. That comes back to McAllister, square from him. Messi, little ball to the edge of the area. Messi wants it back. De Paul shields it, and then Ashua was back in there for Egypt in his D to go to ground and scramble the ball out for a throw down the right-hand side that Nahuel Molina is going to take, the Atletico Madrid defender, the right back. Molina takes it actually all the way back to Romero near the halfway line. And we are now into the last 10 minutes of the first half. And I think those Argentina fans will be like the England fans when they were in here. The clock absolutely whizzing round, and Argentina, who've had the chances but have not been able to find a way past Shubia in the Egyptian goal. And Paredes just forward of the centre circle, back to Lisandro Martinez with that long now black hair, the Manchester United left-sided central defender. Paredes, the number 5 on his back, middle of the Egyptian half, but he's looking there, he's got banks of red and black in front of him. Does manage to find a little bit of space though to his left, and then it's curled into the penalty area, but Ashua's back in there, chests it down, and then wallop, he volleys it almost up to our eye level, not quite, and then Romero's able to deal with that, and Argentina have got the ball back down. I don't know, it's maybe a little bit early for those tactics.
Yeah, they don't want to be sitting deep. This back 5 has been really effective because the wide players have been pushing on and they've been making the extra attacking players. And I think from an Egypt point of view, they're just going to try and get to half-time with that clean sheet intact and give them something to build on. Argentina
0, Egypt 1. Romero almost lost that, but gives it back to Martinez. And Argentina playing from left to right in this first half, urged on by their coach, Lionel Scaloni. If Argentina can recover and go on and win the World Cup again, he will be only the second man to win the World Cup twice as a manager. Messi gets the ball back. Messi now! Oh, he's got that all wrong. He went for the curler from the edge of the box, just on the right side of the D, but he skied it, ballooned it, and it went floating away high. It might even have landed in amongst the Egyptian fans behind the goal.
He's not quite got his radar switched on today, Messi. Good play from him again, though. It's he that wins the ball back, skips inside, and you would fancy him from that type of distance on his left foot. He just uncharacteristically gets it caught on the outside of his left foot and squirms it away.
The screens here inside the stadium have just shown a close-up of Diego Simeone, who is here again as he was for the Cape Verde match. He's got his Argentina shirt on, the Atletico Madrid manager, the former Argentine international who's got great World Cup history, as you probably know. And his son, of course, Giuliano, is part of this squad on the bench, player for him at Atletico Madrid. And he looked a bit tense as well, didn't he? And well he might. Argentina have it on the halfway line. And starting again, they're now dominating possession, but up on the big screen, that 360 degree, the massive screen that goes all the way around, just underneath the roof of this stadium. 0-1 it says on there. Tagliafico, the end of the air, angles it back, Alvarez, oh what a save! Left foot, 10 yards out, and Shubia dives down to his left and manages to deflect it across and wide of the goal.
What a save. Have we just seen the save of the tournament? That's an incredible save. Low down to his left-hand side. That's at pace from Alvarez. Catches it with the inside of his boot. It's pulled back to him from Tagliafico. And the goalkeeper goes full length down to his left-hand side. He's almost unsighted. He gets his fingertips and the top of his palm to the ball. Stadium's in disbelief. Scaloni's got his head in his hands down beneath us. I think the goalkeeper's almost put his shoulder out by doing that. That is a brilliant save.
Yeah, he's down. He's immediately called for treatment, actually, Shubia, who is performing miracles here. Shubia with the saves that he's made already in this match, not least keeping out Messi's penalty.
Do you know what? The two saves prior to that, including the penalty, you would expect him to make if he goes the right way. The one from McAllister straight at him, that is a top-class save. That's a world-class save. The ball's pulled back. It's one of those saves that you work on in training. So many of the training sessions that you do are worked on from the byline, ball cut back, hit at you, and it's a reaction. Very rarely do you get to perform them. That was one of them.
It's anticipation there as well, isn't there, from Shubia?
That's a lot of muscle memory. That's a lot of training.
Right, it's a corner to Argentina. Messi to take it, way down to our left. I can just see him in between a man's bald head and a screen. He's just in a little gap there, little Messi. Hands on his hips again. Argentina believing, of course, that this equaliser will come. Messi plays it into the near post. It's glanced right across the goal and drops. Came off an Argentina head at that near post. I think McAllister's claiming that maybe an Argentina head then deflected, and he runs to the referee, and then he almost goes down onto his knees in exasperation, the Liverpool midfielder, because referee Letizia just looks at him and says, nope, goal kick.
Well, the last thing they need to be doing is showing signs of frustration, because that will just spur this Egyptian team on. I mean, we saw earlier then, just before that save, Tagliafico was the one that cut the ball back. After the save, he was frustrated. McAllister there moaning at the referee. Listen, the way that they're playing, it's not going to be long before they score a goal. It's going to be very tough for the Egyptians to hold out. But didn't we say that the other day in Mexico?
Exactly.
Not the Egyptians, obviously.
No. But I was going to say, put yourself in the shoes of the Argentina commentators behind us. I don't think they'll be thinking, yes, this goal's going to come. Of course it is. Of course it is. They'll be thinking, crikey, we're in a little bit of trouble here. But, I mean, Paul's absolutely right. The pressure is building now. And, I mean, that save, they couldn't get much closer than that shot from Alvarez without the ball ending up in the middle in the back of the net. To Paul, then Paredes pulls it across. Enzo Fernandez, 25 yards out, but quickly closed down. Then Tagliafico with a first-time touch into the area, and just rattled away downfield. And that's like England the other night all over again from Egypt. Difference being we're not at half-time yet in this match.
Clearing the ball into space. Mohamed Salah's already cutting a very lonely figure.
That's the voice of Paul Robinson, England World Cup goalkeeper, with me to my left, high up here in the benches in the Atlanta Stadium, with Tagliafico attacking down the left-hand side, pulls the ball across, it's left by Alvarez, then cleared away, comes back to Alvarez, now on the edge of the box, Messi takes it over. Alvarez now has it, but he's got his back to goal, turns and shoots, and the ball flies away over the angle of post and bar. Probably not as close as it appeared from our angle, I imagine. Yeah, just seeing it again on the replay here, that was probably 5 or 6 yards wide and high.
It's constant pressure now, though, from Argentina. They're looking desperate to get this goal before half-time. Tagliafico overlapping on that left-hand side is causing a real problem. Alvarez dropping in, dropping deep. Fernandez joining in with the attacks, the intricacy in and around the edge of the box. It's been good play, just with no end product.
Argentina 0, Egypt 1. The 2022 world champions in a little bit of trouble here. Throw-in for Egypt. Oh, nicely done. Nicely done by Salah, who spins and skips away but then runs into trouble, and his former teammate Alexis McAllister tackles him. But Egypt get it back. Groans from the Argentina fans, you could hear that, I'm sure, wherever you're listening to us. Salah comes short. And he's not had a sniff yet, really, Mo Salah. But Egypt leading through that header from the central defender, Yasser Ibrahim. And this latest Egyptian attack comes to nothing, and Lisandro Martinez is able to walk the ball forward. Half-time approaching, around about 90 seconds of the first 45 minutes to play. Lionel Messi challenged by Ashua and then fouled by Atia, and a free kick to Argentina, 15 yards inside the Egyptian half.
Just sits in these spaces, Messi, doesn't he? And he just comes to life at the right times. He knows when to close down. He doesn't work unnecessarily. He works cleverly and in the right areas.
Incidentally, Paul, that yellow card that was shown out of our sight a little earlier, it was to a member of the Egyptian coaching staff. So a member of their coaching staff has been booked. Free kick taken in, and Shobia comes, the goalkeeper for Egypt, in amongst a whole gaggle of bodies, but gets up high and takes the catch. Well played.
Yeah, confident from the goalkeeper, but the referee's already onto him about time wasting. I mean, he did it Jordan Pickford style there, didn't he? I mean, he come and took across really well. He didn't really need to go to ground, but he knew that he could to waste up a few seconds.
Yes, he very much took a leaf out of Jordan Pickford's book there. As Salah now receives the ball inside his own half and goes on a run, and he was fouled by Christian Romero, who doesn't like the decision. And there's anger being shown by Argentina players, as has been the case all the way through the first half, to this referee's decisions. And a referee like Francois Letessier is not going to stand for that.
But it's a clear foul, and it's right under the referee's nose. Romero slides in two-footed, he knows what he's doing, and then he puts his right boot and it connects with Mo Salah's left foot, and the referee, to his credit, was right on the spot again, and he was correct.
Yeah, it's a classic Romero foul, isn't it?
Well, you can guarantee you're going to get at least 3 of them at a game.
Yeah, Christian Romero, who was sent off twice this season for Tottenham.
6 times since 2021. He became a liability at one point.
1-0 to Egypt. Argentina are losing. And don't forget, this is the side of the draw that features England and Norway. You'll hear that with us on Saturday night. We'll be in Miami, Paul. That's where we're going next.
You brought your fancy shirts, John?
McAllister to our right, to De Paul. I brought my check shirt. Then it's back to the centre circle, to Paredes. Lisandro Martinez will join in. 5 minutes of added time we're playing here. And then back it goes. Argentina knocking on the door, but not able to find a way through. De Paul's cross into the penalty area, head height. That's nodded away by Rabia. Comes out, Lisandro Martinez again. Alvarez turns. We've seen him drop deep a lot. He had the big chance, curled into the box. Messi, just headed across goal. Just Hafez came across. I thought it was going to be a little bit like the goal that he scored the other night against Cape Verde, but Hafez just got up, got ahead to it, and the goalkeeper's got it in his hands again.
No, he makes such intelligent runs, Messi. Spoke about him working effectively and in the right areas. That's exactly the right place. And his teammates know that he's got the intelligence to run in behind. It's just a case of finding him.
As this latest Egypt attack comes to absolutely nothing. And Emiliano Martinez, who's had relatively little to do in the first half, apart from pick the ball out of the net, as they say, when Ibrahim scored with that header in the 15th minute. Now though, a foul on Rabia near the halfway line and a free kick. And referee Letizia is whistling on the Egyptian medical people, because I think he's landed on the small of his back.
He's landed on the small of his back, but he's holding his chest bone. I mean, it looks like the pain from his back, what he landed on, has gone all the way up and through his chest. The referee immediately went over it in almost a way to go, come on, let's get on with the game, it's nearly half-time. But immediately showed his concern over to the bench.
Yes, and the medical people who've come on, the physios, they've got a massive blue ice pack, and they're rubbing it on his chest.
Well, if there is anything wrong with his chest, I mean, sticking a load of ice like that heavy on his chest might not be of too much help.
I'm sure I've never seen that before.
No.
It's a massive, I presume, pack of ice. He was rubbing it on his chest like you'd clean the windows.
We should all get one, because it's obviously magic.
Up his jump. It was, wasn't it? It was like cleaning a window.
We need to find out what it is and give every Premier League team one, because whatever it is, it will cut injuries down.
Miracle cure. But he's had to go off the field. We are almost at the half-time break with Egypt leading 1-0. Messi's had a penalty saved. Goalkeeper Shubia is having one of those goalkeeping performances. We've seen a few of them at this World Cup, Paul. And now here is Hassan down the right-hand side. Ball comes in. Lisandro Martinez is able to head it away for Argentina. And I'm not sure if Rabia is back on the field yet. Is he? Yes, he is. He is out there. And Argentina have got the ball at the back and still on that huge screen above our heads. 0-1. Argentina flag 0. Egypt flag 1. And right up there, and the maze of metalwork up there is incredible above our heads. Grey girders. There must be hundreds of them up there. There's a walkway as well. And there are two men up there in black who are watching the game from the most unique perspective. There must be 100 feet above the pitch surface, maybe more than that. Staring down on Alvarez, middle of the Egypt half. Giving it to his left, Enzo Fernandez. Then Tagliafico receives it on the left-hand side, but Egypt have got almost all of their red shirts back inside their penalty area. It comes back to Paredes, the middleman in the midfield. Alvarez comes out of the box, gives it to Messi. Messi in a tight area, then passes it to Enzo Fernandez. Then back to Messi, and Messi's pass forward to Tagliafico. But the offside flag was up against the fullback, and it's a free kick to Egypt. And the score is still Argentina 0, Egypt 1.
Done well, Tagliafico, on the overlap on that left-hand side. He's added that extra body to the attack, and they've utilised him very well.
Goal kick. Still we play on. Actually, we've not reached the 5-minute mark yet at the end of this first half. So Shubia, who's been the man of the match so far, will take this free kick downfield. Headed back by Lisandro Martinez. Then Tagliafico clears it, and then the ball is put out of play on the far side, and it is a throw-in to Egypt halfway inside the Argentina half. And I think Ashua has got a problem, which is a problem for Egypt, because he's been one of their stars at this World Cup, and he's actually just standing. They're waiting to make the change, but he's just walking around at the moment. Whether they'll make that change before half-time. Hassan has got it, and now the pass from right to left. It's behind Ashur, and it's actually behind Hafez as well, and out of play for a throw to Argentina. The ball is out of play. They don't make the change yet, so it looks as though he will see it through to half-time. Messi, seconds away from the break. Long pass forward. Shabia's come out of his box, then it bounces past him. He's going to do well. He's actually shoved over there, and the half-time whistle goes, with the ball in the hands of the man of the first half, the Egyptian goalkeeper Mostafa Shubia, who saved a Messi penalty and made 2 or 3 other saves as well. Yasser Ibrahim scored at the other end in the 15th minute, and that all adds up to a scoreline here in Atlanta that will be the talk of world football. Argentina 0, Egypt 1, Paul Robinson.
Certainly not a scoreline that we were expecting to bring back to you at this time of day. 1 attempt on target, 1 goal for Egypt. They've defended resolutely, they've played extremely well, started on the front foot, but you do wonder how long it can continue. Argentina have completely dominated possession with the quality that they've got in the wide areas, and in the final third. You would expect it's only a matter of time for them to break the deadlock, but how many times do we say that? Egypt will be a threat on the counter-attack. If Ashur, as we think, will go off at half-time, because they were looking to make that substitution, that will be a big blow for them because of the injuries that they've already had, Egypt. But at the moment, they're hanging on.
Yeah, this is in England and Norway's half of the draw. And at half-time, it is Argentina 0, Egypt 1.
I suppose what you would say, Paul, is for all the possession that they've had, it's not like they have created chance after chance after chance. They've had 7 chances, 3 of which have been on target. I mean, Shabir has had a fantastic game, but it's not like they're peppering him, are they?
No, but those 3 that were on target should be goals. I mean, you think about one of them was the McAllister header from 5 yards, a free header, straight in the middle of the goal, but he heads it straight at the goalkeeper. The Alvarez one is a brilliant save. You can put that down to the goalkeeper. And the Messi penalty, we all expected him to score. They are creating the opportunities, but as you say, not many on target. And the goalkeeper, you just wonder how long that they can keep them out for.
It was a poor penalty though, wasn't it?
Well, it's hard to criticise the great man, isn't it? But I mean, when you are going to criticise and you're going to be a critique, and you have to be honest, and you use the words like a man of his quality, a man of his esteem, you don't expect that from somebody of his class. And you certainly didn't. I mean, he's missed one already this World Cup, as we know. But the penalty was a good yard and a half inside the post. I think if I'd have gone right way at 46, I might have had a chance.
I think if John had gone the right way, he'd have had the chance. John,
Not
Paul,
sure about that.
Well, no, maybe not. Paul, John, thank you. Second half on the way. Egypt lead Argentina by a goal to nil. It's 5-6. We'll take an extended news and then we'll round up the rest of the day's sport for you. Here's Claire McDonald.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
The voice of the UK and the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Thanks, Mark. And this is our lead story this afternoon. Nigel Farage is resigning as an MP for Clacton, but he says he will stand in the by-election triggered by his own resignation. It comes as the Reform leader continues to face questions about the financial support he receives from supporters.
No, I've decided that the people of Clacton should be the judges of my actions. This will be a people versus the establishment by-election. It's a chance to stick two fingers up to the entire establishment, to frankly tell them where to go. And that is why I will be putting my name forward to stand in this by-election. I will fight to win. I will fight to continue the political revolution that Reform has started.
Over the weekend, the Sunday Times reported that Mr Farage had not declared benefits, including staff and security, received from a long-time ally, George Cotterill. Since May, the Reform UK leader has been under investigation from Parliament's Standards Commissioner after not declaring a £5 million gift he had received from another Reform UK donor before he was elected. Conservative leader Kemi Badenoch says Nigel Farage is cracking under the pressure because he is finally having to face some scrutiny. Sir Ed Davey, leader of the Liberal Democrats, says Nigel Farage has spent his whole life dodging responsibility for his actions. This new stunt is his latest attempt to escape consequences for his biggest grift. And here is the Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer.
This is a desperate stunt from Nigel Farage, and it's obvious why he's doing it. He is up to his neck in sleaze. Politics should be about improving the lives of millions of people, not about personal gain, not about hiding dodgy donations. And I think the public will see this for exactly what it is.
Tim Montgomery founded Conservative Home. It's a website for Tory activists, and he is now a member of Reform.
I just think Nigel Farage thought this would never end. And rather than submitting himself to the parliamentary process where he'll be judged effectively by political rivals, he said, let's go to the voters. Let the voters in my own constituency decide his future. Yeah. And I think that is a right thing. I'm not saying that everything Nigel Farage has done is ideal, but I actually do not think this is what voters are most worried about.
Well, let's speak to our political correspondent, Phil Kemp. Phil, Nigel Farage gave that address earlier. We took it live on 5 Live. So why does he say he wants this by-election? What are his reasons?
So, as you heard in that clip from him, he's casting this as a people versus the establishment by-election. And in a sense, it's his attempt to re-seize the initiative, because he's been facing scrutiny in recent days and weeks over money and support that he's received from rich backers in the months before he was elected an MP, which he didn't declare. So he's already under investigation by the Parliamentary Standards Commissioner over whether he should have declared £5 million in cash that he received from the billionaire Christopher Harborne. And there are calls now for that to be expanded to look at revelations in the Sunday Times at the weekend about support that he received from a long-time associate, George Cotterill, in the form of security and social media work. And in relation to both the cash and the support that he received, Mr Farage has said they were purely personal gifts that he received before he decided to stand as an MP, and therefore they didn't need to be registered. And in his speech earlier, he repeated that he'd done nothing wrong. And he hit out at press intrusion and the government, which he said was changing the rules to damage his party's prospects. So he says he wants the people of Clacton to be the judges of his actions, in a sense, giving them the decision and taking it away from the Standards Commissioner.
OK, and that is an ongoing investigation. So what impact will it have on this investigation by Parliament Standards Commissioner calling this by-election?
So, according to the rules, his resignation as an MP means that investigation will now be paused. But it would resume were he to win that by-election, and there's also a chance it could resume even if he doesn't win. And of course, it's not impossible that if that Standards Commissioner investigation found against him and the recommended punishment was severe enough, that it could result in a recall petition and another by-election in Clacton, which presumably he would then have to fight had he won the one that he's just called.
It's a costly business, isn't it, a by-election? Are Reform UK paying for this?
Yeah, so Nigel Farage put out a tweet on X earlier saying that Reform has offered to cover the cost of the by-election. He said he was going to be writing to Rachel Reeves saying that they would do that. The local council says that it's not a decision for the local council that would be overseeing any by-election. Has said it's not a call for them. It would have to be central government that made that decision.
Thank you so much, Phil, for the update. That's our political correspondent, Phil Kemp. In other news this afternoon, Prince Harry has lost his High Court case against the publisher of the Daily Mail and the Mail on Sunday. He and 6 other public figures, including Sir Elton John, had claimed associated newspapers used unlawful methods to obtain stories, including phone hacking, something the judge said the claimants had failed to prove. The Bank of England has warned that 1 million more homeowners face higher mortgage bills than previously expected due to the impact of the Iran war. It's believed just over 5 million homeowners will see their monthly mortgage repayments increase by the end of 2028. A typical owner-occupier whose fixed-term deal is ending is likely to face an increase of £45 per month, but those who are currently paying less than 3% interest will see monthly bills go up by around £170. President Trump has reiterated his criticism of NATO allies at a summit of the military alliance's leaders in Turkey. He said he hadn't been treated well by member states during the war with Iran. European countries are also claiming are coming under pressure, from the United States to honour previous commitments to increase defence spending. And the International Olympic Committee has lifted its ban on Russia, which was imposed more than 2 years ago for state-sponsored doping and the invasion of Ukraine. It means athletes will be able to compete for the country at the 2028 Olympic Games in Los Angeles rather than as neutrals. The Russian flag and anthem will remain banned at those games. We'll take you back to the football shortly, but let's get an update on the travel news first. Here's Orna.
Thanks, Claire. And we'll start with the M6 Lancashire queue southbound at 32. The Broughton interchange, it's just heavy traffic, but it's building up rapidly. The M60 anti-clockwise, reports of an incident going on at junction 15 near the M61 at the Swinton interchange. It's busy round to junction 13 anti-clockwise. You've got the M6 and around junction 2 at the M69 near Coventry. That's the repairs. It's following a vehicle which caught fire. One lane is still closed. Busy heading out of Birmingham still and heading north out towards the M6 at junction 6 Spaghetti Junction. It's busy on the M11 in Essex at 7 Harlow. That's where the incident was going on, so it's all clear now. The clockwise side of the M25 looking slow. 26 at Waltham Abbey. Severe delays there after an accident. The M26 eastbound towards the coast and approaching the M20. That's looking slow. We've got heavy traffic on the M20 eastbound junction 3 near the M26 after the accident which happened earlier. And there are problems on the district line at Wimbledon. It's a signal fault, so just to warn you ahead of time. Warner Merchant, 5 Live Travel.
So much sport today and all the goals as they go in.
This is 5 Live Sport.
It's all ice to the lights and foot to the floor.
Balls to folks, edge, turn court.
And McElroy steps up and taps in that little tiddler of a putt. He says to the centre. That'll do it.
What a ball. That is a beautiful ball.
Oh, we're right hand and before the champion is down. With this extraordinary stuff. They put on a show for us tonight.
5 Live
world's greatest sporting events right here.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is 5 Live Sports
at the FIFA World Cup 2026
with Mark Chapman.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Argentina a goal behind at half-time in Atlanta to Egypt in their last 16 match. Second half on the way with John Murray and Paul Robinson. First to Wimbledon. All of this on Sports Extra 2 if you want to listen to the tennis. Jonathan Overend.
Acting so far, so I don't see the point.
10 seed in the women's singles, Karolina Mukova, experienced player who's had a lot of trouble with injury over the years and actually has had a terrible run here at Wimbledon, losing in the first round for the last 4 seasons, but she's beaten Naomi Osaka 7-6, 6-4. Now Osaka, a 4-time Grand Slam champion, has been arguably the player of the tournament up till today, but she came across a really inspired Mukova who was serving and volleying, and 2 aces from Mukova right at the end of the match sealed it, and she takes her place in the semi-finals where she will play Coco Gauff. Novak Djokovic is underway on centre court. Now Djokovic is playing Felix Auger-Aliassime, who's actually the number 3 seed, but so much focus of course on Djokovic as a 7-time champion looking to win a 25th Grand Slam, but even if he manages to get past the Canadian today, he'll have Jannik Sinner waiting for him, the defending champion, in the semi-final. So far, going with serve, Djokovic leading by 4-3 in the opening set.
Thank you very much, Jonathan. As I say, Sports Extra 2 for that. Sports Extra if you want the cricket. England against India in the 30-20 international. England 1 up already. The first match ruined by the weather. Nikesh Raghani's at Trent Bridge.
England batting first in this third match after India won the toss, decided to have a bowl first on what looks like an absolute belter of a pitch in the sunshine, and they're going along nicely. They are 60 without loss after the first 60 for 1 rather after the first 7 overs. Joss Buttler, the man out for a really well played 36 from 21 balls. India's Prince Yadav, the seamer, coming into the side today in place of the leg spinner Ravi Bishnoi, taking a wicket with his very first delivery. Lovely Yorker hitting the leg stump. No chance really for Joss Buttler. Harry Brook, the captain, out there currently with Phil Salt. As I say, England 60 for 1 after those 7 overs, and lots of anticipation here, chappers, about when India bat, because they have made just that one change to their bowling lineup. The batting is exactly the same. It means 15-year-old Vaibhav Suryavanshi, who made his international debut at Old Trafford, will open the batting later on today. But at the moment, in England 60 for 1.
As I say, Sports Extra if you want to listen to the cricket. Let's head back to Atlanta, where in front of John Murray and Paul Robinson, Argentina, a goal down, are already back out.
Yes, they are. They're in position. They're just waiting for Egypt to emerge from one of those massive tunnels in this stadium. And the other point to make is that they are going to make a change, because as we mentioned at the end of the first half, the number 8, Imam Ashur, has obviously got an injury, so Hamdi Fati is going to come on into the midfield, the number 14, who's actually started 3 of the previous 4 matches. So here come the red shirts of Egypt, cheered on by their supporters, who have been enormously outnumbered by Argentina fans in this stadium. But at the moment, it's Egypt with their tails up, Paul Robinson.
Absolutely, they've got something to hang on to. They played extremely well in the first half. They did tail off towards the end. The Argentine team dominated possession, create an overindulgence of chances, but the 1 or 2 that they did create, they should have scored with. They've got it all to do in this second half of Argentina to break down this resilient Egyptian side down. We've seen them do it before. They took Australia deep. Can they hold out? I do feel if Argentina get 1 early in this second half, it'll be a case of potentially how many are they going to get.
But we will see. So Hamdi Fati coming on to win his 67th cap for Egypt, who get the second half underway here underneath the closed roof of the Atlanta Stadium, with the sun shining outside, and Argentina already getting the ball back, and Messi playing it through into the penalty area for Alvarez, but that was intercepted by Rabia. And the red shirts of Egypt, black shorts, black socks, can bring it away up to the halfway line. Argentina, like probably, I don't know, I'm going to say 75,000 people. the Argentina players wearing blue and white striped shirts. I mean, it could set some sort of record for the most replica shirts inside a football stadium here today.
And I think there's a lot of Americans here today as well that are Messi supporters. I think we see football now a different generation. You know, the team support is not necessarily as tribal as it was, but actually the individual player are what people follow. And obviously with Messi playing here into Miami, the support for Messi worldwide is actually incredible. There's a lot of Americans inside the stadium today.
Yeah, in that lift I was in earlier, I was telling you about in the first half, there were a family there who all had Argentina shirts on, and you know, it became very clear very quickly that they were actually Americans. Here's Alvarez back to the halfway line, then into the centre circle. Paredes playing it out to the right, where it's been brought forward by Molina. I will run you through the teams when I get a chance, but the ball in play here with Paredes, who plays it to Alexis McAllister, and then back to Paredes out to the right hand side. Egypt leading 1-0 through that goal from Yasser Ibrahim, which was beautifully created by Attia. Actually, Ashur was involved in the build-up. Good work from him, played it back to Attia, and Attia's cross in was perfect. And what a good header it was as well by Ibrahim under pressure, shrugging off really Lisandro Martinez. Argentina trying to draw level. Messi with a little pass, comes back to Messi, tight footwork on the edge of the D, plays it square, then the shot is straight at goalkeeper Shubia from Paredes, and he's able to deal with that quite comfortably. It was De Paul, and he was able to deal with that quite comfortably.
He tried to be too precise there. The ball comes to him on the edge of the box after Messi's good work, goes at it with the side foot instead of maybe better off putting his laces through it.
I think Alvarez caught Shubia just as he was clearing the ball away, and he's ended up on the pitch. And I think referee Francois Letessier knows his game here, and he quickly blows his whistle and he tells the goalkeeper, get up and get on with it.
Pantomime villain. That's going to be him this afternoon if that carries on the same way that the Argentinian fans and around us are already getting frustrated with him.
Yeah, that's Shubia, the goalkeeper, and now Alexis McAllister again looking incredulous as a free kick is given against him for his challenge on Haissem Hassan. And I'll give you another prediction, Paul, that at some point an Argentina player is going to be booked for dissent in this second half, as Hassan plays the ball back towards the edge of his penalty area. It was Hassan who conceded the penalty with his foul on Tagliafico that resulted in the Messi penalty. That was saved by Shubia. So 1-0 to Egypt. McAllister as Argentina win it back. Alvarez playing it through for Messi. Could be offside. Catches up with it inside the box. It runs away from him and out of play, and then the offside flag goes up, and that angers the many thousands of Argentina fans at that end of the ground. Goal kick, Egypt.
Did look a long way offside there, Messi to the naked eye. A good run in behind again. And that's when they've looked at the best. You know, the football that they have in front of this Egyptian defence hasn't really troubled them. But when they've got in the wide areas and they've got in behind the defence, whether it be a Messi straight run or whether it be Tagliafico down the left-hand side, the balls in behind are the ones that have troubled Egypt.
That is the voice of Paul Robinson, England goalkeeper, 41 caps, World Cup goalkeeper. We're watching Argentina with Paredes, who's got some space in the centre circle, one of those cameras that swings high above the pitch but is way below our eye level, just sort of swings above his head as we look at it. And now Argentina with De Paul, and then back centrally Argentina, but Egypt with everyone behind the ball. The Argentina team, Martinez in goal, and he's had next to nothing to do, the Aston Villa goalkeeper, apart from pick that flashing header out of the net. So Martinez in goal, the back four of Molina, Christian Romero, Lisandro Martinez and Tagliafico. Then in midfield, Paredes with De Paul and McAllister, as the cross comes in for Argentina from the right, but it's too deep. Hassan is able to get it down, and Hassan gets it back, and Hassan now crosses the halfway line. Haissem Hassan, with his first start at this World Cup, carries the ball all the way down the pitch, and eventually the challenge comes in on him. And that's excellent play from Hassan to relieve the pressure.
If the patterns of play are to unfold like this, they're going to need players like Hassan to do that and to ease the pressure and just to give themselves a little bit of time on the ball in the right areas of the pitch instead of chasing it all the time.
Throw-in taken by Haney just to complete that Argentine lineup. So those three in midfield, Paredes with De Paul and McAllister, then Enzo Fernandez, Messi and Alvarez. as Argentina walk the ball forward with Paredes. And then back it goes to Christian Romero. The Egyptian team now, Shubia the goalkeeper, back four of Haney, Ibrahim, Rabia and Hafez. And now Atia, Fati and Lachine in midfield, Salah, Zico and Hassan. And Argentina continue to keep the ball. And Enzo Fernandez back to Paredes. Enzo Fernandez again on his right foot, uses Tagliafico. Tagliafico then back to Lisandro Martinez, and Paredes with a little ball. Paredes gets it back just outside the box, scoops it into the area, headed across by Enzo Fernandez, but cleared away to comparative safety for Egypt. Then back to McAllister again, and once more Enzo Fernandez, back to McAllister, but it's very, very crowded in front of him. Three Egyptians suddenly converged on him, and the ball's been won back illegally by Salah, who just nipped it away from Paredes, but the referee says illegally so, and it's a free kick. And actually Salah slipped over as he was running away with the ball, but he's alright.
Thought he was away there, didn't he, Mo Salah? The one problem for Mo Salah at that point, he was midway inside his own half. He was like the rugby union player running for the try line from deep inside his own half, with about 4 players chasing him. I'm not so sure he'd have got there.
Argentina 0, Egypt 1. The winners of this will play either Switzerland or Colombia later. Ball into the penalty area from Messi's free kick, but Shubia comes very positively, very much like Jordan Pickford in Mexico City the other evening, or the other night, UK time. Paredes, then a little swivel of the hips. Oh, he's gone for goal, but it flies away over the top of the crossbar. Again, from this height, I don't think it was quite as close as I initially thought.
It's better from Argentina. I don't mind them having shots from distance, because at the start of this second half, they've been looking to score the perfect goal. They've been looking to try and be too perfect in and around the edge of the box. Shots from distance will trouble this goalkeeper.
So here we are, live in Atlanta. The match later will come from Vancouver. That's where Vicky Sparks and Dion Dublin are. So Switzerland, Colombia from 9 o'clock. And a choice of listening right now, the T20 at Trent Bridge continues on Sports Extra, and the Wimbledon commentary on the radio. Sports Extra 2 is where you'll find it, via your BBC Sounds app, or of course all across the BBC, as we continue to bring you this very, very busy summer of sport. You'll hear every one of the quarterfinals from this World Cup live on 5 Live. And if it's a late match, just like the other night, what do people have to do, Paul?
As you like to say, John, take the radio to bed.
Take the radio to bed, which I know many people did the other night, particularly with the hour's delay to the Mexico-England match. And then you can catch up on everything in the morning on 5 Live Breakfast with Rick Edwards in California and Rachel Burden back in the UK. Well, this is becoming interesting. Well, it's always been interesting, but it's becoming more interesting, because Egypt still lead by 1-0. Tagliafico, though, down the left, curls it across, but that should be dealt with at the back post. It is. Hafez heads that away, and then a good tackle on the edge of the penalty area. Fati, then the ball forward for Salah, but across with the challenge comes Christian Romero to slide it out of play, and it's a throw into Egypt on the halfway line. It's a difficult balance this for Egypt to get this right. They've lost possession after their throwing, but the referee has brought it back, and it is Egypt's ball. And Argentina, Lionel Scaloni, the coach, is claiming that Egypt are on a go slow here. Basically, they're just making the point to the referee and making sure that he's across it, which I'm sure he is. One of Europe's most experienced referees. Ball played forward to McAllister. McAllister just turns and finds that Paredes is next to him. Paredes then to Enzo Fernandez, square to Messi. Messi is closed down by Hamdi Fati, the substitute, and then Messi is fouled. And that's a free kick in a good position for Argentina over towards the right-hand side. It was Fati with the challenge again on Messi. He actually put his arm across his chest. I mean, Messi went down clutching his face. I don't think his face was actually touched.
They're not doing a lot wrong, Argentina, just without that final ball, that final attempt on target, testing the goalkeeper. They're doing everything right in possession. Egypt are really struggling to get out. They've got no real out ball. 11 players behind the ball, quite deep in their own half.
So it is A free kick for Argentina. Messi plays it square to De Paul. De Paul trying to get it on his left foot, but then Egypt have closed them down. They went square and they went nowhere. Why not put the ball in the box, Paul?
It's Messi. Do you want to ask him?
1-0 down. First time that Argentina have been trailing at half-time at a World Cup since the match at the last World Cup against Saudi Arabia. Messi turns, sets off towards the edge of the penalty area, but overruns it, and it bounces away from the veteran, the 39-year-old, as he is now. With this scoreline, this would almost certainly be Lionel Messi's last match at a World Cup. Long pass. Oh, Tagliafico heads it across, but Shubia, the Egyptian goalkeeper, is able to drop forward and gather it before McAllister got there.
Yeah, long ball forward there. Tagliafico once again getting in and around this side. Looks to head it back across the box to De Paul. The goalkeeper does well. He comes out and he reads the situation. But that's good from Argentina, mixing up. Yes, they've got the good play in and around the box, but the long ball over the top to keep mixing it up, to keep the Egyptians thinking.
Yes, remember that shock defeat that Argentina went down to, their first match at the last World Cup in Qatar against Saudi Arabia, but then went on to lift the trophy despite that. But lose here today, they'll be out, as Paredes puts in a challenge on the halfway line, throwing to Egypt. Argentina have also, incidentally, lost 9 of their last 10 World Cup matches when they were losing at half-time. Argentina with it on the right with Messi, but across comes the challenge from Hafez. It's out of play for a throw-in to Argentina. Almost level with the edge of the penalty area. The holders 1-0 down. Paredes might be thinking about another shot, which he does, which is deflected into the penalty area, then cleverly hooked away, and then well won back by Lisandro Martinez, who gets it down. He's almost in the, well, he is now in the Egyptian right back position, trying to find a way past Haney. Went down, stayed down, but Egypt are carrying the ball away. Referee Letizia is not interested, and now what a run from Hassan. Hassan still going, he gives it to Salah. It's 3 against 2. Salah plays it through. Martinez comes out. It's in. It's 2-0. Oh my goodness. Mustafa Ziko converts to give Egypt a 2-0 lead here in Atlanta. And the defending champions are absolutely rocking now. They're 2-0 down. Lionel Messi looks at the referee. McAllister's gone to him. They're complaining about something that happened near the halfway line. But Egypt score a second through Mustafa Ziko, and it's Argentina 0, Egypt 2, and the big shock is very much on.
That's exactly the counter-attack that they didn't want Argentina. They committed so many players forward, but there's still so much to do. Hassan on this right-hand side, he's run the ball out of defence, he's taken the ball forward and he's found Mo Salah, and unselfishly plays a lovely ball across in behind the back three of what it was of Argentina. And Zico takes the touch first time, and it's a super finish, but I do think we're going to have a VAR check. They're moaning about a foul on Martinez on the halfway line. He's had a bit of his shirt pulled by Atia. Lisandro Martinez.
Oh, they are reviewing it. They're reviewing it. This goal might be ruled out.
It is as well, isn't it? He's going to get called over. In fact, he has been called over. This is going to be touch and go.
Was that the foul down in the fullback position?
It was in the fullback position. I think they're just deciding as to how far. There, it's the one in the fullback position.
I mean, that's
right
the other end of the field.
It's the other end of the field, but this move did eventually lead to the goal. We're about to hear, but I think the referee.
Yeah, it looks as though
he's going to cancel
it.
Here
he comes, Francois Letessier. It's coming forward.
After review, careless tripping committed by number 19 of Egypt in the offensive phase. Final decision is goal cancelled. Free kick.
Oh, goal cancelled. And can you imagine back in Egypt now? Never mind here in the stadium in Atlanta. Population of 107 million people in Egypt. Oh, they'll be tearing down the curtains.
Do you know what, John? They've got to feel so hard done to, because that's happened 5 yards away from their own goal line. That foul, it was a foul from Atia, don't get me wrong, but it happened 5 yards from their own goal line. They had to get the whole length of the pitch to the other end, and that's just a question of how far back, how many, what do we call it, phases of play, stages of play do we go back? But this has been taken back, Argentina is no goal, and they've got a free kick in the attacking third, which Messi now looks like he's going to put in the box.
Well, the Egyptian fans inside the stadium are perplexed by that, and clearly they will feel that it's gone back too many phases of play. It's a free kick for Argentina, which is played in. McAllister got a flick, it hit a defender, bounced behind, and it is a corner to Argentina. Meanwhile, at the other end, or indeed for most of the stadium, celebrations. But I mean, a 2-0 scoreline, Paul, even against Argentina with Messi and all of their stars. Messi takes this corner and it's past everyone and bounces out over to the far side, where Paredes is going to swing it back in, which he does now, and then it's volleyed away for Egypt by Hafez. A 2-0 scoreline in this match, the way that this match has developed, I think Argentina would have had their work cut out.
Well, they're proving tough to break down, and there's one thing that really did impress me with the Egyptians. When that goal was cancelled, the manager, the coaches, the bench were in the ear of the fourth official. Every one of the outfield players got together and said, come on, let's get back together. Not one went around the referee. They all said, let's stick together, we carry on, we defend this free kick and we move on. There seems to be a real unity about this team. Argentina are going to try and crack them, and they're going to have to do it quickly.
Argentina 0, Egypt 1 remains the score. Egypt have won the ball back. It's Salah who's over the halfway line. Mo Salah, 34 years old now, gives the ball to Hassan, who was excellent in the way that he broke away actually in the build-up to the goal that was cancelled. And as well, you've got to feel for Mustafa Zik, who pulled off his shirt when he converted the ball brilliantly for an angle on the left-hand side of the penalty area. And I loved as well the storyline that would have been a man called Zico scoring against Argentina at the World Cup, but we've not got it. We've not got it yet, anyway.
That was a wild celebration, wasn't it? I don't think they had any question of a doubt that the goal was even, going to be checked on VAR. The only option that we thought at the time was maybe it could have been offside, but it was such a quick flowing move from back to front, and Hassan was a real trigger for that, leading the ball out from defence.
Yes, he was. It's a nickname, Zico, and he was nicknamed by his father when he was growing up because his dad was a big admirer of the Brazilian star. When he was growing up in Alexandria in Egypt. Argentina 0, Egypt 1. And we have less than half an hour to play. So it is that scenario, just like the match here between England and DR Congo, where time is beginning to run out for the favourites to win this match. Egypt, who've got no sort of record really in the World Cup, they've underperformed massively on the world stage, as Salah just has a little kick out there after he was dispossessed. Just got to watch himself. And certainly in this situation, Egypt don't want to be like England and lose a man, particularly Mo Salah, as Argentina. With Enzo Fernandez. Fernandez back to Messi, puts his foot on the ball. He plays it square. Paredes, middle of the half. Then to the right-hand side to De Paul. And then Paredes has to turn under pressure and go back to Romero. Paredes receives it again. Still 1-0 to Egypt, if you've just joined us on 5 Live. Here is Tagliafico. Then back to Lisandro Martinez, who curls it in. And a crucial touch with the head of Hafez, which took it out towards the far side. Argentina get it back. And Romero is bringing it forward. Christian Romero then uses Messi 25 yards out, but Messi, surrounded by Egyptian players, they're able to get a toe on the ball, and Messi has to scamper back towards the halfway line to retain possession. And actually Argentina have got to go all the way back to goalkeeper Martinez. Right-footed ball from him, lifted downfield, but that will skip away, run away from Enzo Fernandez, and it's all the way through for a goal kick. And Argentina, Lionel Scaloni is going to make his first change. I think it might be a double change actually. Lautaro Martinez of Inter is coming on, and I think I saw Nicolas Gonzalez as well, who was on loan at Atletico Madrid this summer, the two players who are going to come on. That is, the dugouts are on this side of the ground, and actually so steep is the banking of the stand here that we actually can't see that activity going on. Argentina coming again. De Paul with an angled ball into the penalty area that is chested behind his own goal by Zico. and it's a corner to Argentina from the right.
I think he tried to chest that back to his goalkeeper there, Zico. It was a good ball across from De Paul on the angle, and for the player arriving on the far post.
Are they going to make the changes now? I think they are. So Tagliafico coming off, so the left back's coming off, and De Paul as well. So he's going to have Lautaro Martinez, Julian Alvarez and Lionel Messi all on the field together, Paul.
I'm surprised that he took Tagliafico off, because I think he's been excellent this game. Created a lot of chances in the first half, and he's been a problem.
Corner is taken short. Messi's got it back. Messi beats his man, still going in the box, but then Zico comes across with a challenge. And good tackle as well from Zico on Messi. That messes with your mind, doesn't it? Zico challenging Messi. The generations coming together. And those changes just being announced on the public address system. So Nicolas Gonzalez, number 15, is on as the latest corner is taken, and Romero jumping for it, but challenged in the air, and it's cleared away, and Salah's got it down, and Salah taking it over the halfway line. He's got two Argentina players with him for company. He gives it to Hassan. Hassan now into the box. Hassan takes on the defender, plays it across, and it's in! Zico has scored this time, not to be denied. It's 2-0 to Egypt. The counter-attack catches Argentina all at sea, and in the end, Mustafa Zico makes it Argentina 0, Egypt 2, and with this scoreline, the holders are heading out here in Atlanta.
That one is not getting ruled out, and it's almost a carbon copy. It's the same three players that have combined. It's Mo Salah this time, into Hassan, and he's got such pace. The Argentine defenders can't live with him. Mo Salah does so well. He drives at the heart of the Argentina. Three defenders that are backtracking, and he gives it to Hassan, and he looks like he's going down a dead end. He goes round the outside in the 18-yard box. Carbon copy, pulls it back to Zico, arriving late from the left-hand side. Inside of his right boot, absolutely smashes it past Emi Martinez. Ensue the same celebrations, but this time the celebrations won't be cut short. Enjoy yourselves, Egypt. You're 2 up against the world champions, who may not be for much longer.
The scenes in the stands here in Atlanta. Looking to my right. Brilliant. What a brilliant reaction that is from the Egyptian fans, who are, I mean, they're here in their hundreds really, maybe just into the thousands. But the flag is there, the famous red, white and black horizontal stripes of the flag of Egypt is being held very high. They're having a party there down in the bottom as well, behind Emiliano Martinez's goal. And Argentina now come forward down the left-hand side with Gonzalez, who swings it in. He's going to play on that flank, Gonzalez. So he's taken off a defender already, Scaloni, and brought on Lautaro Martinez and Gonzalez. So he's got the bodies on there, but 2-0 down, and we are in the 69th minute now. Argentina are in big trouble. Cross from the right-hand side, it's deflected, headed away at the back post. Only out to Paredes, who hits that. Lisandro Martinez, who hits that shot wildly across goal. It came off the defender and went out for a throw-in on the far side.
They're going to have to defend now, Egypt. Hassan's down on this near side, inside the 18-yard box. They cannot afford to be a man down.
Argentina, well, they eventually shrugged off Cape Verde, but they might be more than meeting their match with the Egyptians. As the ball's played up to Salah, he loses out. It's won back by Lautaro Martinez. Then on the edge of the penalty area, it's worked to the left-hand side. Gonzalez now up against Hassan, who does very well. He's able to dispossess Gonzalez and then drops to ground. It's out of play for a throw, and I think there's going to be another change being made imminently. In fact, it's the water break, isn't it? It's the hydration break, which we know because the music has burst into action. So what about this, Paul?
Wow.
2-0 to Egypt.
I mean, we certainly didn't expect it. And do you know what? Quite an apt song, actually, for the world champions, if it is to stay like this. Country Road, it's one that they won't want to be seeing. But at the moment, they haven't done enough in an offensive third to change the game. I think Egypt have had a good game plan in this second half. Basically a smash and grab. we're in an England game. England-Mexico the other night. We're in a very, very similar territory. But I'm just looking at the Egyptian bench. Does he have Hassan? Does he have John Stones, Dan Burn at his disposal that he can bring on and defend this lead? Because they are going to have to defend for their lives for a long time if they are to hold on to this against a very good team.
Well, it is another of these stories of this World Cup. Argentina survived against Cape Verde, but here at the second half water break, it is Argentina 0, Egypt 2, and Lionel Scaloni, his hold on that FIFA World Cup trophy for him and his team is quite loose. Let's head to Wimbledon, see what's happening with Russell Fuller.
Novak Djokovic has work to do in this first set, John, against Felix Auger-Aliassime, the third seed. It's 5 games all. Djokovic has seen 2 set points saved and then served an ace to save a break point, and it's back to deuce on his serve. And another slight concern for Djokovic, the 7-time champion, is that he's had treatment on his left calf, having tweaked it a couple of games ago. Winner to play Yannick Sinner, the defending champion, came through earlier in straight sets against Jan-Lennard Struff. And we know the first of the women's semi-finals, Coco Gauff, who beat Jessica Pegula earlier, will play Karolina Mukova, the 10th seed from the Czech Republic, who served superbly in knocking out Naomi Osaka, who had knocked out the world number 1 Aryna Sabalenka just 48 hours previously.
Thank you, Russell. Our award-winning tennis team will continue to bring you commentary on Wimbledon on Sports Extra 2 via your BBC Sounds app, and our award-winning cricket commentary team will be in action right now on Sports Extra, the third T20, where Simon Mann has the latest.
England stumbling a bit here, John. In the 13th over, they're 117 for 4. They just lost 2 wickets in 2 balls. Bethel skying to Suryavanshi, steepling catch. He judged it well, the teenager. And then Tom Banton, first ball was caught on the deep third boundary for naught. Butler out for 36, Brook for 16. Phil Salt, who played out a maiden first over of the match, is 47 not out from 31. He's been joined by Sam Curran. England 117 for 4 in the 13th over.
Thank you, Simon. So as I say, that's on Sports Extra right now on BBC Sounds, your digital radio, and this is 5 Live. Argentina 0, Egypt 2. Yes, that's the scoreline. Gonzalo Montiel, the man whose penalty won the World Cup in Qatar for Argentina at the end of the shootout, is onto the field. And I see Trezeguet has come on as well for Egypt. This is his 100th cap, Paul, for Trezeguet, the former Aston Villa man. As Gonzalez crosses, shot by Martinez inside the penalty area. Lautaro Martinez, but that was blocked by the defender, Ibrahim, the goal scorer, and it's cleared away all the way to the halfway line. Ibrahim in the first half with the excellent header, and then Zico finishing off the second goal, having already had one ruled out by VAR. And the other main point of the storyline, Lionel Messi having his penalty saved in the first half, which at the time would have made it 1-1. So what a situation we have here. It's Hassan who's gone off. Hassan's been, I think he had a problem, didn't he, Paul? Hassan?
I think that's a blow. I really do think that's a blow for Egypt. You saw the part that he played in the goal that was disallowed and the second goal that was given there. He was their legs to get out of defence.
Argentina coming forward, the ball to the edge of the area, that's scraped away, but the cross comes in again from the right flank, from Molina, comes to Gonzalez, he shanks it across the box, a little flick goal, but it's wide. It's wide by Lautaro Martinez, who couldn't deflect it on target, and it's a goal kick to Egypt.
Can't believe how quickly that clock's running down from an Argentina point of view. Now the goalkeeper's gone down, Martinez getting involved. He's done this since the start of the second half, the goalkeeper. I did say he might be the pantomime villain, and he's not making many friends behind that goal. It's gone down again. Surely he must realise the new rules, the players having to leave the pitch for the minute, etc. So they are going to have to get on with it. But if it stays like this, I wouldn't rule out the goalkeeper receiving a caution at some point very soon.
Gonzalo Montiel coming on for Nahuel Molina, so that's a straight switch. So Montiel on at right back. Time is fast running away from Argentina, Paul. 2-0, and there are only 15 minutes of the 90 to play. Egypt now have to be considered as the favourites to go through right now in this position.
It's going to be a great escape if Argentina can get out of this. Spoke about the way that they huffed and puffed about against Cape Verde. That was an epic 2-hour game that they eventually came through. But at the moment here, they haven't looked like breaking the deadlock. The goalkeeper's as good as he was in the first half. He's had little to do in the second half.
We're looking at a quarter-final for Egypt, but they come forward now. The ball played across the penalty area and it's cleared away at the back post. No one in there, but the offside flag actually is up and it wouldn't have counted, and it is a free kick to Egypt. We're looking at a quarter-final between Egypt and either Switzerland or Colombia. So one of those three would be in the semi-final on England and Norway's side of the draw. Switzerland, Colombia, that's on 5 Live, 9 o'clock tonight, live from Vancouver. And the crowd announced 68,000 and something. It was a full house, was it, Paul?
It's always a full house.
It's
always a full house. You should know that. Yeah. The figures vary, but it's always a full house.
It's always a full house. Egypt playing it through to Salah. He was involved in that second goal, that thrilling breakaway second goal that was scored by Mustafa Zico, the most famous goal that he scored. And another Zico makes his mark at this great tournament. The ball cross-field to the right to Haney. Haney now to Salah. I think the general expectation was that this would be it for Salah and not for Messi, but not so. And now the ball's played forward to Trezeguet, left side of the area, but he had to go and get it. Trezeguet shoots from the angle, but into the side netting. And Martinez, Emiliano Martinez, that is, was comfortable that was going wide.
And they're still posing a threat as well, Egypt. They've got to give them a lot of credit, yes, for the defending that they've been doing. They have been dropping deep. They have been using that defensive unit, but actually when they do get the opportunity, Zico's taken that opportunity to get forward and just hits the outside of the side netting.
Argentina 0, Egypt 2. Argentina with now 12 minutes to save themselves. Got to come up with 2 goals without reply. That is asking a great deal for Argentina, who are on a current record run of 11 wins in a row, by the way, in internationals. Back to McAllister. McAllister, right-footed ball in, helped goalwards by Messi, but too many defenders in there, the blocks. There is an element of England against Mexico about this, trying to find a way through all of those bodies. Here in Atlanta, it's red shirts, not white. Cross from the left-hand side, that's headed up by Trezeguet and behind. It eventually bounces for an Argentina corner from the right.
Yeah, balls into the box. Ibrahim, Rabia, Hafez having to defend well, the 3 central defenders from Egypt. But at the moment they haven't really had a problem. They've found good positions, they've cleared the balls away.
So Messi to take this corner. All of those blue and white shirts behind him, and it swings, headed away, back to Messi. Takes one touch, then the ball actually couldn't beat the first man, Trezeguet, and it bounces off his back, out of play. It's not been Messi's day, it's not been Argentina's day, but there is still time yet.
And if there's anybody that you'd want on the pitch with 11 minutes of normal time, plus whatever's added on in this situation, it would be that little magician.
Argentina, Lautaro Martinez, then Paredes. Then it's played out to the right-hand side, and the cross comes in, and it's headed in! There's the first goal back for Argentina! Christian Romero, the central defender, up on the edge of the 6-yard box. Shabir got a hand to it, diving to his left, couldn't keep it out. Argentina 1, Egypt 2, and it's not over yet for the holders.
Here we go, here we go. Is this the start of the countback? The Egyptian defenders are absolutely certain that Romero had strayed offside. But it's going to be very tight. It looks like he might just be onside. It might be his shoulder that had gone off, but it was Messi. What did I just say about him? Only a second ago on the right-hand side, just gets himself a yard of space with his left foot. But he almost looks up and picks out Christian Romero, 7 yards from goal, throws his head at it. Goalkeeper gets a good hand, but all he can do is push it into the top left-hand corner. And it looks like the Argentines, they've found a way to get back into this game. Well, the supporters away to our left certainly think that they have anyway.
The play is not yet restarting, but there's the whistle. The goal is confirmed. It's Argentina 1, Egypt 2. And we have just over 10 minutes to play. Argentina now. This huge crowd of people in blue and white striped shirts roaring them on. Off they go towards the edge of the penalty area, and then the challenge comes in to put it out for a throw to Egypt, level with the edge of their own penalty area. That goal coming in the 79th minute. And Egypt have taken off the man who scored their second goal, Zico, and have replaced him with Manchester City's Omar Marmoush, left out of the team for this one.
Yeah, that will give them legs to get out of this defensive situation that they're in at the moment. It'll be fairly fresh, Marmoush. He's had a bit part to play in this World Cup. The Argentine fans to our left and all around us here, they genuinely believe that this is the start of a special comeback.
Less than 10 minutes now, but Argentina need one goal to draw level, potentially take it to extra time. Again, just like Cape Verde. But in that match, it was Cape Verde who twice came back to level things before Argentina won it in added time in what was one of the matches of the tournament. Here's Messi now, heading out of the World Cup, unless Messi into the box, then turns it back. The cross deflected, and that bounces behind, and it's another corner after McAllister tried to play it in.
And it was he that unlocked the door, wasn't it, Messi? Beautiful ball into the box for Christian Romero. Still had a fair bit to do. The header Romero had to really throw his head at it to generate the power. Goalkeeper could only push it into the roof of the net. It was a super ball from Messi.
That Messi's third assist at this World Cup. Here is the corner from Messi. Goalkeeper comes, gets a good punch on that. He was sandwiched there between two Argentina players, yet he still, in between them, managed to fling an arm up and get enough on it to clear it away. Argentina come again down the right-hand side. Messi now into the box. Still Messi going, he's round the side of one defender, plays it across, and it's headed down and wide. A brilliant run. That absolutely brought back the memories of Messi at his best. And Lautaro Martinez, trying to get there, arriving, could only head it down into the ground, and it bounced wide.
Wasn't a bad chance that for Martinez. Once again, it was made by that man Messi. Jinking, mazy run that he goes on. He's very, very intelligent, Messi. He puts himself in places, i.e. the 18-yard box, when he's running at pace, and if he takes the slightest of touches from a defender, he goes over, and the likelihood is that he's awarded a penalty. Very, very intelligent footballer in those areas.
Argentina 1, Egypt 2. The World Cup on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Wimbledon on Sports Extra 2. The third T20 on Sports Extra. But Argentina now, there is the growing belief that against this tiring Egypt team, that Argentina might be able to conjure up an equaliser. Who'd bet against them? Lautaro Alvarez drops deep. Alvarez then gets it back, helps it on to Messi. Messi, left-footed ball, hits the defender on the edge of the penalty area, comes back to Messi. Cross is deflected towards the back post. It's hooked across. It's still bouncing around inside the penalty area. Oh, and there he is! There he is! It's Messi! Left foot shot! Goalkeeper couldn't keep it out, and he runs away. And Messi celebrates as wildly as he has any of the hundreds of goals that he's scored in his career. Fists clenched, Messi scores his 8th goal at this World Cup and quite possibly saves his own World Cup skin. Argentina 2, Egypt 2, the holders have come from 2-0 down.
Who else? Who else? Why should we be surprised? He does it all the time, and he's rescued Argentina once again. They will be so grateful that he's chosen to play in this World Cup, with it being his last as well. Not only has he just half-volleyed it into the roof of the net, he's got the assist, he's been the spark, he's been the catalyst, he's been everything. The Argentina fans inside this stadium absolutely worship the man, and you can see why when you watch him firsthand. The opportunity bobbles to him 8 yards on the angle, and he hits it first time on the half-volley. It's a beautiful, clean, crisp strike. Once again, the goalkeeper gets a hand on it. All he can do is help it onto the underside of the crossbar. And Messi, before the ball even hits the back of the net, is wheeling away to celebrate with all those hundreds and thousands of adoring supporters over in that far right-hand corner. An assist, a goal, and a tournament still to play in.
Argentina 2, Egypt 2, and the face of Lionel Messi is on the big screen high above everyone's heads. Thousands of people inside this arena here in Atlanta have got exactly what they came for. Messi making it 2-2 after Christian Romero headed the equaliser. And now we have 5 minutes to play, when Argentina will be thinking they might be able to turn this all the way round. Egypt now chasing shadows. Gonzalez gives it back to Enzo Fernandez, and then Enzo Fernandez to Lisandro Martinez. His curling ball forward. Gonzalez is able to get a touch on that, but as the defender Haney came across, he was able to make sure that it crossed the white line, and it is a goal kick to Egypt.
You just wonder at this stage of a game, when the team's been so on top and so dominant like Argentina have, why do they take the foot off the pedal? Why not go for that winner when you've got Egypt exactly where you want you, and you've got the players on the pitch that they have, all the plethora of attacking quality that they've got on the field now, Argentina? Why not go for it?
And now we are hearing the Argentina fans as loudly as we have at any point during the course of this match, which kicked off at 12 o'clock local time. It's taken them a while to get going, Paul. And the thing about the Argentina fans is it's just like all of the other World Cups that I've covered and commentated on Argentina. One thing that is striking about Argentina is the way that they travel, many of them, as families, generations. They bring little babies and toddlers with them as well. And I mean, the expense that it must be costing them for this World Cup, you can only wonder. And with around about 20 minutes to go, it looked as though this was going to be the end of the road. We said, didn't we, at the water break, that it looked as though it might be the country road for Argentina, but not so. Romero and Messi, who has now extended his record, incidentally, of scoring in successive World Cup matches to 9. It's his 21st World Cup goal in total across his 6 tournaments. That extends that record as well. And he is on his own again at this World Cup, leading the race for the Golden Boot. Messi with 8, Mbappe and Haaland with 7, and then Harry Kane with 6. As we head towards added time and the possibility of extra time, and the way that this match has gone, the way that Argentina turned it around with those 2 goals. Romero in the 79th minute, Messi in the 83rd. 2 goals in 4 minutes. From a point where I said to you, Egypt are favourites to win this, I've changed my mind about that now.
Oh, absolutely. The game has taken a little bit of a lull after that second goal. They've taken the foot off the gas. Argentina at the moment playing the ball in and around the back with Christian Romero. They've certainly got a lack of defenders on the field, Argentina, after the substitutes that the manager made to get them back into the game, but boy did it work.
Argentina 2, Egypt 2. Argentina have kept up another record as well of scoring multiple goals, now in 11 consecutive World Cup matches, i.e. more than 1. Last time they only scored 1 in a World Cup match was that match against Saudi Arabia that we were discussing. As Argentina come forward, that's a foul over on the far side. It's a foul on Lautaro Martinez, and he doesn't like it actually. He stands up and actually squares up to Karim Hafez, the left back. Egypt, who thought they'd gone 2-0 up when Zico first put the ball in the net. That was overturned, it was ruled out by VAR, but then Zico did make it 2-0, and from that point it seemed as though this big shock was on, that Argentina have got depths and they've used them. And now in the 89th minute, Messi with a free kick, McAllister with a touch, and that's saved away, parried away, patted away by goalkeeper Shupia. Either side of him, that would have been in the net from McAllister.
What a ball, and that was from Messi, right between the 2 defensive lines and the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper just stood there, pushed his 2 fists forward and hoped. When you're in goal and the ball comes like that, whipping in towards the goal, it's one of those type of crosses that if it misses everybody, it goes in at the far post, but that had such pace on it from Messi.
Messi, who created the first goal for Romero and scored the second one himself. Argentina in possession on the halfway line with Lisandro Martinez, who will turn and give the ball back to Emiliano Martinez. And then the left-footed high ball downfield. Julian Alvarez is able to get it down. Argentina fans now baying for a 3rd goal, which would win them this round of 16 tie. Alvarez into the challenge, then forward from Montiel, the substitute right back. Now Alvarez takes it right out towards the right flank. In it comes towards Messi. Messi tried to find a pass forward, very nearly unlocked the Egyptian defence there, but Egypt could be up on the counter-attack here. They are. It's 3 against 1, and the ball being carried through the middle, but the pass was misplaced by Marmouche. What an opportunity Marmouche had there. Chose the wrong option, and it's Argentina who come back at them.
What a piece of defending that was. He was left absolutely isolated completely on his own. It was 3-on-1 opportunity for Egypt there. Chose the wrong option, but it was a wonderful tackle in the end from Romero, I think it was.
7 minutes of added time are going to be played, and Egypt, a rare opportunity since the moment that they went 2-0 up. It's been all Argentina. They've scored the 2 goals, but that was the chance.
That was their chance. I think that was if they were going to win the game, that was their chance. I think it might have actually been Paredes who was coming back, who made the challenge. They had him isolated 3-on-1, and they played the ball straight against his right foot, whether it by luck, fortune or judgment. It was a great defensive block.
Yeah, Marmouche, that was the moment. Still 2-2 though, still in with a fighting chance. Salah, as Egypt come forward again, curling cross, headed down, but blocked by the defender. Trezeguet got his head to that on his 100th appearance for Egypt. What a story that would have been. Now carried forward by Lachine from the midfield, and Egypt are suddenly having a spell here. Trezeguet has it again, cutting in from the left-hand side. His pass across to Attia. Attia out to Salah. Salah on the right wing. Messi's already made his mark. Salah though into the penalty area is challenged, and challenged well by Julian Alvarez, and Alvarez passes the ball forward to Lautaro Martinez. It's Argentina breaking forward now. Egypt committed men downfield, but Lautaro Martinez has taken it up to the right. Here's the cross. Oh, it's headed in! Enzo Fernandez has won it for Argentina. What a comeback from the world champions. Egyptian hearts are absolutely shattered here. The cross was pinpoint perfect for the Chelsea midfielder to arrive onto it and steer his header past Chubir. How you have to feel for Egypt. They are devastated by this, and Argentina can celebrate now. 20 minutes ago it looked like they were heading out of the World Cup, Lionel Messi and all. Now 3-2 it is, and it seems Argentina are bound for the quarter-finals once more.
Absolute scenes inside this stadium in Atlanta. The Argentina fans are going absolutely wild. They've somehow reversed it when they were out of the tournament. We thought Messi was going home. We were talking about his last tournament. It's not at the moment. It's a real counter-attack. Lautaro Martinez on the right-hand side. He looked to me like he was tired and he was looking for an easy option. And he throws the ball into the box. It's a beautiful ball out to him. And it just goes past him on the right-hand side. And it looks like he's tired, and he can see Enzo Fernandez arriving late. And to me, it looks like he just puts a hopeful ball into an area. But Fernandez makes it into something special. He's free and he leaps high and he powers it into the bottom left-hand corner. The Egyptian players in the bench are not happy. They feel there was a foul in the penalty area early on when Mo Salah went to the other end and the ball was played into the box.
There's a red card being shown down on the touchline. Something has happened there, and a red card has been shown by Francois Letessier. The benches have got involved with one another, and Lionel Scaloni is there, and it is I think it's another member of the Egyptian coaching staff who has been shown the red card, and they clearly feel that VAR should be looking at this goal, and yeah, red card. It is a member of the coaching staff, and Chubir, the goalkeeper, has also been yellow carded, and Egypt are losing their heads down there. They're 3-2 down and they're losing their heads.
Yeah, they really feel that Fati, the substitute, was infringed in the penalty area in the build-up to that Argentina goal. When there was a transition, when the ball changed hands and they moved very quickly, Argentina, they moved defence into attack, they feel that VAR should have at least had a look at this infringement in the penalty area. I'm not so sure there was anything in it, but the way that Argentina moved forward, they were so quick, they were so swift. Very impressive from Fernandez, the way that he timed his run into the box. And can you believe it? What do they say? That's what champions do. That's what world champions do. Messi is not going home.
Double change by Lionel Scaloni. Facundo Medina and the veteran, the former Manchester City man, Nicolas Otamendi, 38 years old, is coming on. And also Lachine is replaced by Zizou, the Al Ahly winger. So those are the changes. But the scoreline is Argentina 3, Egypt 2. They were 2-0 down. 2-0 down as the ball comes into the Argentina penalty area, but Martinez is able to come and catch that. 2-0 down in the 79th minute before Romero scored. 2-0 down in the 79th minute, Paul. And now here we are in added time, and it's 3-2 to Argentina.
One of the greatest comebacks, you would say, inspired by that little magician. I mean, he's an absolute inspiration, he is, and he's a captain and a leader that doesn't give up. And you can see the effect that he has on the rest of his team. But the quality of this Argentina team, they shouldn't have been losing this game, but it's ebbed and flowed. And the way that they're playing now, Argentina, they've got a back five, and it's now Egypt that are in the ascendancy. But you wouldn't believe that listening to these Argentina fans in here. It's absolutely unbelievable to watch. They're waving the white shirts and the white plastic bags over their heads.
How much of a case did Egypt have? Have you seen the incident that they are complaining about?
Not the second replay, but they've got more of a case for Emi Martinez just there, been 2 yards outside of his 18-yard box, ball in hand, kicking the ball down the field. But that's the incident that they're incensed about. I'm sure it was Fati, the substitute, when Salah went into the box. He wasn't actually involved in the play. It was him trying to make his way into the box. And one of the Argentine defenders that went with him, whether it was McAllister or Fernandez at the time, pulled his shirt back, and they felt that that was the infringement.
Well, we're in added time now, and again tempers are being frayed here, and the referee's having to step in. 7 minutes of added time. Enzo Fernandez's goal was in the 2nd minute of added time, and we are now over the 7 minutes that have been added on. And Argentina, it seems, have been able to find a way again. 2-0 down here. Only just were able to shrug off Cape Verde. Now having to come from 2-0 down against Egypt. And then Lautaro Martinez is fouled as he breaks away over the halfway line. That's another yellow card for Egypt. This one's for Attia. And I believe that Hamdi Fati was also booked in the aftermath of the 3rd Argentina goal.
Probably for his protest when he thought that he was fouled. I mean, we'll wax lyrical about Argentina and say how well they've done to come back into this game, but for large parts of this game we thought they were out of it. You've got to give Egypt a lot of credit for the way that, one, they approached it, and two, they carried out the game plan. And for such a long period of this game, there were 2 goals to the good.
And now something else is happening on the bench, and Hossam Hassan, I think, perhaps is being shown a yellow card. And he's got a reputation as being a little bit of a hothead, the shaven-headed coach of Egypt, and he's been shown a yellow card. And I think the referee is beckoning him out of the dugout because he wants to speak to him as well. And now there is a heated discussion going on between Hossam Hassan and the French referee, and a couple of his coaches have also come across. And there is going to be real Egyptian anger after this.
Why is the referee giving him time? I mean, he's allowed the manager to come onto the pitch and speak to him. The referee shouldn't be doing that at this stage of the game. The referee's made his decision, he's booked him. Go and sit back down and let's get on with the game. There was a real inquest going on 5 yards onto the pitch there.
Well, you see, Egypt will feel that they were hard done to by the goal that was ruled out. VAR overturned that goal. And then when it came to the 3rd goal for Argentina, they clearly feel that they have a case, and that should also have been subject to a VAR review, and it should have been ruled out. But as it is, it's 3-2 Argentina, Paul.
And that's when they want the foul, because their goal was ruled out for a foul so deep in their own half. That was a similar distance.
Gonzalez for Argentina, they're looking for a 4th now, but the ball is played down into next to the corner flag, where Enzo Fernandez is just going to keep possession, play it back up the line, and then it's driven forward by Paredes. And we've now played almost 10 minutes of added time. 7 were initially indicated. What a match this has been. Yet another thrilling World Cup match at this 2026 tournament. Egypt now, it's got to go long if they're going to try and find the goal. Up to Marmoush it goes, but that's an excellent challenge by Lisandro Martinez. And then the ball is played forward for Lautaro Martinez to just walk the ball or trot the ball down the left wing. There can only be seconds left. Lautaro Martinez turns on the tricks down there as well. They love that, the Argentina fans. 2 Egyptian players coming, it's deflected off one of them and out of play. And now there is a squaring up between Lautaro Martinez and Atia, who has just been booked. Their heads were very close together. The referee races across to part them. And still we wait for the final whistle. Still Argentina have to wait. The throw is taken by Enzo Fernandez. And then another throw-in is won by Egypt this time. And now, Paul, we've had 11 minutes of added time. With all of the stoppages, the fact that goal was scored, the celebrations, everything that was going on the side of the pitch. But that is it. And Argentina's substitutes and coaches come running onto the pitch. What a comeback by Lionel Messi and his team. But you have to feel for Egypt here. They are furious. They feel that decisions have gone against them. They were 2-0 up. They were 2-0 up in this match in the 79th minute, and they've lost it 3-2. It was right there for them. It was right there for Egypt to knock out the holders. But what a comeback. Messi at the heart of it. Argentina have beaten Egypt by 3-2, and I think another card's been shown down there to any one of those 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Egyptian players, coaches, etc., who are near the referee and his team.
Are we going to get a bad game this week? I was tired enough after the other night, but that was incredible. I mean, that's got to go down as one of the great comebacks, inspired by the man Lionel Messi, who we all expect magic from. But when you watch it and you witness it firsthand, it's spectacular. He dragged his team up there by the bootlaces. They were down and out. They were out of the tournament at one point. And Egypt are so frustrated with the refereeing decisions that have gone against them. They had a second goal disallowed before they got their second goal for an infringement that was created almost on their own touchline. They went the whole length of the pitch and scored that second goal. And then they were hanging on. And then Messi, he just stepped in and went, hang on, I'll take over. Beautiful assist, great finish for his goal. And then the substitutions worked for Argentina. So many subplots and stories to this game. We definitely haven't heard the end, but the world champions, they too haven't heard the end.
There'll be anger about this from Egypt. I'm absolutely certain of that. Mo Salah, that's probably the end of the World Cup road for him. It looked as though that would be the case for Lionel Messi, but instead, watching down from where we sit up here in the stadium, it's Lionel Messi with both fists clenched in the air and gesturing to the Argentina fans behind that goal with his teammates. And they go on, the World Cup winners of 2022. They are all gathered together, bouncing up and down on the edge of the penalty area. Celebrations for Argentina, tears for Egypt. Argentina have won by 3-2, and they will go through to the quarter-finals to Kansas City to play either Switzerland or Colombia.
Are you two only doing 3-2s now? Is that your specialty?
Yeah, we've made it. We've had a word with Gianni.
Have you? So he gets a call from Trump one day and a call from you the other, does he? Yeah, is that how that's how it works?
I laid it on the line.
They are lucky boys, aren't they, Argentina? Paul, for 2 or 3 reasons you could probably pick out.
And the biggest one's walking around the pitch at the moment in floods of tears with the captain's armband on. I mean, he's absolutely inspirational. We talk about other players and you use superlatives, but I don't think there is any for him. And I think the way that he impacts the game, his intelligence now at his age, at 39, he knows that he can't have the impact constantly like he used to, but he's so intelligent with his work, the areas of the pitch that he works, where he chooses to pop up, the balls that he puts into the box, the places that he picks up in the box. And he was done. He was down and out in this tournament after 79 minutes. 2-0 down and looking like there was no way back. But all of a sudden he found a key to the door. And it was his ball into the box where the first goal came. And then the belief just flooded through. And they looked a completely different team. And then as soon as he scores, everyone in the stadium starts believing. He is on a different level to anything you're likely to see firsthand.
Let's deal with you both with the controversial incidents. Egypt's second goal ruled out because VAR brought it back for a foul at the other end of the pitch. As you said in commentary, Paul, Egypt then went the full length of the field to score that goal. That gets disallowed. They then score a second goal to go 2-0 up. Now on Argentina's winner, there is a phase of play where, and I've only seen one angle of this in the same way that you have, it looks like Fati is pulled back, but it's from such a wide angle that you can't necessarily see it clearly. The ball comes back out, is recycled, Mo Salah dribbles into the penalty area, he goes down, there is the slightest contact, I'm not sure it would have been given for a penalty, and then Argentina break and go up the other end and score their winner. The problem is they've made a rod for their own back here, haven't they, by calling the first one back, which they have done in another game in this tournament, and I wish I could remember what it was because I was doing it, where they brought it back for a foul. But they've made this a problem of their own making.
The officials.
Yeah, well,
yeah, and that's why Egypt are so aggrieved, because they feel, one, that as you say, the foul that led to their goal was far too far away and could have been affected a number of times before the ball hit the back of the net. And then they feel with Argentina's winner, they had two shouts for a penalty that at least should have been stopped and checked before the ball was moved very quickly to the other end and they scored. They're absolutely raging, Egypt, and you've got to feel for them, the way that they played today, the way that they dug in, completely against what anybody thought today. They gave Argentina one of the biggest scares, if not the biggest that they've had. And I mean, they've got a case, but I, like you, the Fati incident, we haven't been able to see that because the goal ensued so quickly after that the only replays that we've had are replays of the Argentinian goal.
I also think, don't you, John Murray, that the foul on Martinez that was given for the second Egypt goal to be ruled out was so slight, and in the main, this tournament has actually set quite a high bar for fouls. Although I have noticed recently, and I thought this with Michael Oliver, when European referees are getting involved, they seem to be going back to quite a low bar for fouls.
Yeah, well, I mean, they should be all referring to the same standards.
Well,
I don't think there's any doubt about that. But I think the level of Egypt's anger with the Argentina goal not being chalked off has been heightened by what happened in the build-up to the goal that was chalked off for Egypt. So that's I think why you're seeing this level of anger, because they feel that it's Egypt. You know, you can hear them saying, can't you, afterwards, it's Egypt against Argentina, and the decisions have gone to Argentina.
Alistair Bruce Ball, who's driving between Boston and New York, says VAR brought one back in the Uzbekistan-DR Congo game. There was another one before that as well, so they have done it. Let's bring in Ahmed Youssef, Egyptian football expert. I am guessing from what you're seeing across social media from the Egyptian football community, maybe what you know from what's going on back in Egypt, the team's anger and the coaching staff's anger is matched by the football fans.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's huge amounts of disappointment across Egypt, and I think you kind of touched on it right there. There's so much inconsistency at the moment with VAR and decisions, and how far do you go back to pull a decision? I think it was, the referees made the wrong decision disallowing Egypt's second goal. Might be wrong, but I think that there was such a long distance that had gone by, and the foul was so minimal. I completely understand why the Egyptian coaches have kind of and squad have been so disappointed. I think, I haven't had a full chance as well to look at the pullback, but Fati's shirt was pulled back. Salah, there was a pushing around the box, or on the edge of the box. I think if that was Messi, if that was somebody else in Argentina's shirt, the question is, would there have been the same consistency? And I think that's what's really aggrieved people.
John, can I ask you one more question on all of this, which has just come to mind then? And I'm not trying to be sensationalist or controversial, so I'm asking you because you're very balanced here. But because of everything that has gone on with FIFA and Balogun, any situation that happens now, any controversial situation now, will be seen by more people with conspiracy theories, weren't there? We've always had conspiracy theories in football. We've always had big teams get the benefit of the doubt. Officials favour the big teams. They'll want to keep Brazil in I know Brazil aren't in anymore. They'll want to keep Brazil in a World Cup, or they'll want to keep Messi or Ronaldo or Mbappe in a World Cup. But because of the last 72 hours, the sceptics will have increased.
Yeah, and that's not good, is it? That's not good for the feel around the game. And
No.
who's to blame for that? The organisation that are supposed to be looking after the interests of the game. You know, they've opened a Pandora's box there with the decision that was made and everything that happened with Donald Trump. And that has brought us to where we are here. And that won't be the end of it, will it? This will carry on during the course of the tournament.
Absolutely. Well, Messi is still in tears, Paul Robinson, isn't he?
And he's just received the bumps off his teammates in the middle of the pitch. The big circle of the Argentinian players throwing him up and down in the air. You would think it would have been his last game, and that might have been the send-off that he got, but actually it's a celebration rather than a sad one. And the supporters inside this stadium, they're certainly not in a hurry to leave, as you can probably still hear.
I was going to say, I don't remember seeing scenes like this in this tournament so far for Argentina and for Messi. And I mean, he has been in tears since the final whistle. And the way that he celebrated the goal that he scored to make it 2-2, as I said at the time, I doubt whether he will have celebrated as wildly any goal that he scored in the way that he did this one. He ran away with an extra energy, punching the air, and it was at the end where the massed ranks of the Argentina fans are, behind the goal to our left. And it is quite a sight there, and I think that's why you've seen the particular scenes that we have. And the Argentina players now are finally leaving the field all together as a group, as a team, as a squad together. They're just about to pass down that big blue tunnel to our right. But he has been in tears since the end of the match, and to actually throw him up in the air, the whole team around him in the centre circle, again and again, and he's just walking now. I can see him there applauding and waving to the fans who are just gathered around the top of the entrance to the tunnel, and he disappears from sight. But that was, as Paul said, that was almost like his goodbye, but there is still a quarter-final to come.
And in amongst, I'm going to bring Tim Vickery in a moment, Paul Robinson, but in amongst all the controversy and all the Egyptian anger, see some good goals tonight. And the winning goal, whatever you think of whether it should have been called back or not, the winning goal is a counter-attack of beauty.
It was unbelievable how quick they did it. And actually I thought Lautaro Martinez, as I said in commentary, on the right-hand side, he didn't really have anything to aim for in the box. I mean, Fernandes was trying to get there, and they both looked like they're absolutely shattered. And Martinez, to me, he just looked like he curled it into a space into the box because he didn't want to run to the byline or run any further. He put it into the box, and Fernandes just turned it into a piece of brilliance. He arrived at the header, perfectly timed it, put it into the back of the net, and the scenes that followed that were quite incredible.
The other thing, I mean, in all of this as well, is the Egyptian disallowed goal would have been right up there for goal of the tournament as well.
And it was almost identical to the one that they got. I mean, it was the same three players that were involved. At a different interchange, it was Salah onto Hassan instead of the other way around. Hassan then found the goal scorer, and it was exactly the same three players, with Zico putting the ball in the back of the net. And they had a game plan, the Egyptians, and they did it well, and they used those three players on the counter-attack to great effect, scoring 2 goals, but for their disappointment, only one of them counting.
Headline writers across the world, John, fuming that they didn't get the opportunity to use a Zico winner against Argentina.
Yeah, and to say, as I said during the commentary, to have Zico and Messi on the same field together, if only.
Tim Vickery, they'd have been licking their lips at that in Rio, wouldn't they?
Oh yeah, lots of firecrackers going off when although there was a survey done today by one of the teams. Now Brazil are out, who are you cheering for? And you know what, Argentina won, which is amazing to me, but it is a reflection of how many people today follow individual stars. They'll be fans of Cristiano Ronaldo. My 9-year-old grandson, Brazilian grandson, is fascinated by Cristiano Ronaldo, and obviously Messi has his big fan club as well. So there were firecrackers going off, but also a lot of people supporting them.
Is there? We were talking about this earlier, and we might revisit it over the next hour and a bit before Colombia-Switzerland kicks off. But is there any? Would there be any kind of camaraderie in the sense of, you mentioned the Messi thing, but also the anybody stop the might of Europe?
A little bit. Certainly worked the other way around when it was Brazil-Germany in the final in 2002. Surveys there found that more Argentines were cheering for Brazil than they were cheering for Germany. So there's a little bit of that. There's lots of emotions. And Brazil is very, very high on emotion at the moment. There's a huge debate tearing the country apart about Neymar. So there's emotions flying all over the place. And the games and the eliminations, and they come so thick and fast, it's difficult for everyone to process. In the case of Argentina, should we move on to Argentina?
Yeah.
One side had 17 shots in the game, one side had 4. So, apart all the headlines of controversy and so on, and it will always be controversial because whoever's making the decisions and whoever's running the game, because so many decisions are hairline and they are subjective. I think, Mark, the Cape Verde game did them the power of good, even though it took them 120 minutes. Because there's been an air over the last 3.5 years. It's been like an extended victory lap, an extended celebration of Lionel Messi. And some of their friendlies have been a little bit ridiculous. And they played Puerto Rico, for crying out loud. What are you going to learn from that? But it's all been about veneration of Messi, in this love and this profile of the individual star that modern football has. And the group phase was more forgiving than a priest in the week after Carnival. So they weren't really tested, and it was all, again, lap of honour stuff. And then suddenly against Cape Verde, they found themselves in a real scrap. And the team found its competitive virtues, and winning is a great habit to have. And they did it again today when it looked like they were down and out. And some of their problems, I think, were being exposed. There's 3 reasons why, and I still believe they're not going to win it. And that's 3 reasons. Firstly, and it's just difficult, these knockout games, the margin is so tight that one day things are going to go against you. The other one is the defence. That defence nearly buckled so many times under pressure in Qatar. No new defenders have emerged. They haven't got the same defenders this time because they want to. It's because no new ones have emerged. And I even think after tonight that for the quarter-final, Scaloni might well be tempted to bring back the old horse Otamendi, because I think Lisandro Martinez was at fault on both. But the other one is the absence of Di Maria, the joker in the pack, the one who, the genuine world-class star with no ego, plays second fiddle to Cristiano Ronaldo at Real, plays second fiddle to Messi with Argentina, play second fiddle to everyone at PSG, and always doing what the team needed, but they needed him. And you know what happened in the last 15-20 minutes? Messi, who had been trying to play his way through the middle all through the game, and it hadn't been working for him, Messi became Di Maria. He went out to the right, he went out to where Di Maria would have been, and he supplied the kind of service that Di Maria would have supplied. He incarnated Di Maria. And it's all back to his incredible ability to read the game. It's as if he's watching the game, as well as playing it, he's watching it from the best seats in the house. What is the space that I can attack? And I saw this as a 17-year-old, and I just couldn't believe what I was watching. Where can I do most damage to the opposing defence? And after frustrating himself so much through the middle, and it looks like he just hasn't got that little kick to get away from the defenders, well, Argentina don't have a lot of width down the right. What's going to happen? I'm going to be the one to supply it. And I think he won the game from Argentina, becoming Angel Di Maria.
Timmy's going to stay with us. We'll talk more about Argentina on the way. We're going to let John and Paul go, although from everything that you've seen, the two of you, and again we touched on this the other night, we're about to preview talk about all the quarterfinals up until about 8 o'clock, but we'll let you two go. But from everything that you've seen, at the moment, I genuinely think you could make a case for anybody in the quarterfinals winning this tournament at the moment. I genuinely think you could.
Completely agree. I mean, we've seen most of them firsthand ourselves now, and the way that teams have played, not necessarily to the best of their abilities at times, but the way that teams have found a way. And I think when you don't get to this stage without being a good side and knowing how to play tournament football. Some of these sides have grown into the tournament, some have stumbled their way through it, and there is an absolute case for each one of them. And I think we've got some really intriguing matches coming up as well. I think the France-Morocco game is potentially the game of the round. We know Morocco, they're a good tournament side, they're experienced at going deep into tournaments. The French, for me, coming into this were the favourites. I saw Spain playing this exact tournament against Saudi Arabia after their disappointing opening day draw. they turned it on in spells in that game and they looked dangerous. There's a lot of dangerous teams, and I would say one thing that I always say about England to any one of these teams in the last 8 now, they're capable of beating anyone on their day.
Absolutely. Paul, John, thank you very much. Ahmed, just before I let you go when talking about Egypt, 2 parts really. First of all, in amongst all the controversy, they still had a chance to go and get a third when they were 3-on-1 and Marmoush blew it, really. And secondly, what will be the reaction now re-Mo Salah?
Yeah, going back to that Marmoush chance, I mean, he's been so disappointing this World Cup, and I think that kind of summed up his World Cup, really. You know, Haitham Hassan, who was incredible for us in this match and holding up the ball really well, came off in the 73rd minute for Marmoush, and then all of a sudden we looked very disjointed. We couldn't hold the ball up as well, and that chance, it's disappointing. I think the best way to kind of put Egypt in this competition, we didn't expect to get this far, so you can't be too disappointed with the performance and how we played today. But I think there is just a slight disappointment that we were so close, 11 minutes away. But I think that people are still very, very proud of the squad and Mo Salah. I think he definitely will leave with his head held high.
Thank you very much for joining us, Ahmed, this evening. Ahmed Youssef, Egyptian football expert. So it is 7:25. You're listening to 5 Live. The final last 16 match is to come at 9 o'clock. That is Colombia against Switzerland. We'll look at all of the quarterfinals in the next half hour or so, and then we'll return to Wimbledon as well. But let's just get the latest BBC News.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
The voice of the UK and the FIFA World Cup 2026.
With the headlines, I'm Lisa McCormick. Nigel Farage has described the by-election triggered by his own resignation as a people versus the establishment election. The Reform UK leader's come under increasing scrutiny over his finances, but insists he's done nothing wrong. Tory leader Kemi Badenoch says the Clacton MP is cracking under pressure, and Sir Keir Starmer gave his reaction.
This is a desperate stunt from Nigel Farage, and it's obvious why he's doing it. He is up to his neck in sleaze. Politics should be about improving the lives of millions of people, not about personal gain, not about hiding dodgy donations. And I think the public will see this for exactly what it is.
Labour, the Conservatives, the Lib Dems and Restore Britain all say they won't be standing candidates in that election. The publisher of the Daily Mail and the Mail on Sunday have described a High Court privacy victory as a magnificent vindication of the paper's journalism. Prince Harry and 6 others had claimed Associated Newspapers used unlawful methods to obtain information for their stories. Dominic Ponsford's the editor-in-chief of Press Gazette.
They said they bugged landlines. They said that they stole bank records, bribed police officers, that the editor-in-chief lied under oath when he denied all this stuff went on. This would have destroyed the Daily Mail. This would have been News of the World territory if he'd won this case.
Bedfordshire police have started a murder inquiry after a mum and her 2 children were found dead at a house in Great Denham. It's thought the suspect was known to the victims and has fled the country. And Russia has been given the green light to compete in the 2028 LA Olympics. The country was banned in 2023 after the war in Ukraine broke out. Moscow's welcomed the decision, saying the Olympics must be free from politics.
When you're watching the match in bed, when you're streaming a game on your commute, when you just have to catch all the action.
Come on.
Go! Oops, sorry.
Who cares? What's the spilt coffee after a goal like that?
Nothing brings us together like great TV. And a TV licence covers you to watch all TV channels, including live TV on streaming services, so you can cheer along no matter what time you're watching the football. It also funds everything you love from the BBC, including live radio. Like this.
This is 5 Live Sports.
At the FIFA World Cup 2026.
With Mark Chapman.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Argentina have come from 2 down to beat Egypt by 3-2 this afternoon already. We've got Switzerland against Colombia to come at 9 o'clock. Let's just head back to Wimbledon. Novak Djokovic on centre court at the moment in front of Gigi Sam.
Against Felix Auger-Aliassime. We're 4-3 in the second set in favour of the Canadian on serve. There has yet to be a break. That first set was won on a tie-break. We're nearly at the 2-hour mark in this match. Novak Djokovic has had a medical timeout for a lower left leg problem. And the winner will face, in the semi-finals at Wimbledon, Jannik Sinner. But we're on serve, a set-up Novak Djokovic.
BBC One, if you want to watch it. Sports Extra 2, if you want to listen to it. To Trent Bridge, third T20 between England and India. Nikesh Ragani.
Where India are chasing 202 after England posted 201 for 7 from their 20 overs. A good batting surface. India's teenage sensation Vaibhav Suryavanshi is out there at the moment. He's just faced a bouncer first up from Jofra Archer, and India are 3 without loss, chasing 202 inside the first over.
I'm guessing the bars have emptied to watch him, have they?
Absolutely. It's like Beatlemania all over again here. There's plenty of anticipation. Remember, he did hit Jofra for a first ball 6 at Old Trafford, so we're waiting to see some more fireworks from him as we see a 6 there, uppercut over deep third. It was another bouncer, slightly on the offside. He just opened himself up beautifully, and he has smashed his first 6 of the evening, and the crowd here hopes it's the first of many.
To be fair, Nikesh, just fine. I mean, he tried to hit the first ball. He tried to hit the bouncer for 6. He didn't duck. He went to hook it.
Absolutely, yeah. And he did that a couple of times at Old Trafford before he finally connected with one as well. He's not going to die wondering. He's obviously been told, look, just play your game, go and enjoy yourself. And that's what he's doing.
Right, we will keep an eye on that. If you want to listen to him batting, Sports Extra is the place to be. Right, let's turn our attentions back to the World Cup. 3 quarter-finals are confirmed. Commentary on every one of them here on 5 Live as the road to the final in New Jersey gathers pace.
After this, there is no turning back.
To extend England's lead.
You have to see it for yourself.
In the round of 16, Kane waits.
This is your last chance.
Big, deep breath. One foot in front of the other.
The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want.
Little steps, Kane.
You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Scores for England! It's 3-1. The 10 men have a 2-goal advantage now. Early ball to Ferran Torres. They've unlocked the defence this time, and they've won it. Mikel Merino just sent Spain through to the last stage of the World Cup.
Couple of deep breaths, waits for the referee's whistle. Straight at it, Mbappe pauses with his right foot, scores. Sends Orlando Hill the wrong way. The Paraguayan defence unlocked. Kylian Mbappe has the key.
Lays it into the back, and it's a wonderful finish. A wonderful finish from Unai. His second goal of the afternoon, and a goal that almost certainly puts Morocco into that quarter-final.
Haaland edge of the box, takes a touch with his right foot, hits it with his left. That is brilliant. That is game over. Norway are through to the quarter-finals, and Erling Haaland has just arrowed that into the bottom corner to give Norway one of the greatest results in their footballing history. There is nothing you can do about that.
Here's now Lukaku for Belgium across the goalkeeper. They've got another. The United States are not just going out of the World Cup, they are going out having been hammered by Belgium.
Here's the cross. Oh, he's had it in! Enzo Fernandez has won it for Argentina. What a comeback from the world champions. 20 minutes ago, it looked like they were heading out of the World Cup. Lionel Messi and all. Now, 3-2 it is.
So they are the 7 of the 8 quarter-finalists. Switzerland against Colombia to come at 9 o'clock, and the winners will face Argentina in the last quarter-final. These are how the quarter-finals line up at the moment. I'm so really distracted because Suryavanshi, the 15-year-old, has just hit the next ball he's faced from Josh Tongue for 6. So he's faced 3 balls and he's on 12. And the first ball he faced was a bouncer that was called for a no ball. Anyhow, these are the quarter-finals. France against Morocco. That kicks off Thursday evening at 9 o'clock. Spain against Belgium, Friday at 8 o'clock in the evening. You can watch that on BBC One. You can listen to all of these on 5 Live, of course. We will be in Miami on Saturday evening for Norway against England. It is a 10 o'clock kickoff, and Argentina against Switzerland or Colombia Sunday morning, early hours of Sunday morning at 2 a.m. Dion Dublin is in Vancouver ahead of the game tonight. He's part of our commentary team there alongside Vicky Sparks, who we'll talk to later. Tim Vickery still with us, and Julien Laurent is with us as well. before we get into each quarter-final, we were saying, Jules, I'll start with you, that you could make a case for any one of these quarter-finalists winning the World Cup. So narrow is the gap between teams, so tactically adept are teams. Yeah, there may be a clear favourite so far, but you could make a case for all of them. Would you agree?
Yeah, I agree with you, Chappers, completely. I think it's quite open between those, the last 8, because even Switzerland and Colombia are good teams. They have quality, they have some flaws, but I think everybody left in this tournament somewhere have some flaws, whether it's in one position where maybe they're a bit weaker, whether it's some age of some players, whether it's tactically, whether it's the intensity that they can put, or the lack of intensity that they can put in the game. And I think you're right. I think for all of those quarter-finalists, we can find a pro and a con of why they could win this World Cup and why they could not win this World Cup.
And you would say as well, Dion, wouldn't you, that another reason for saying anybody could win it is, as Jules has sort of mentioned there, every side left in does have a vulnerability somewhere.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with that. The way that this World Cup has just, found its way, and the surprises and all that kind of stuff. Yes, anything can happen, and all these sides that are going to find themselves in this position will have to be careful, because one mistake, one switch off, one lapse in concentration, there's so much quality against the team you're playing that there's no mistakes allowed anymore. A mistake will get punished and you'll be out. So it's all about concentration when you haven't got the ball.
If it is Colombia that make it through to face Argentina, would you then say there is a chance that any one of the 8 could win it?
Well, I'm quite surprised by the modesty of Jules, because I still see France.
First time for everything, Tim.
Always very modest, Tim. Always modest.
Fraternité, modesté. But I don't think France have been frightened, or France have been bothered. I think France have been within themselves, and they always look like they've got a goal in them when they need them. I think France have struggled far, far less to get where they are than some of the other sides. And Morocco, it's still a Morocco in transition, isn't it? It's a Morocco, it's quite a new side, it's a new coach, it's a very different approach from the one that went to the last World Cup. And it's obviously a team with an eye on 4 years' time, which I think is their priority. So I would be very surprised, and it can happen, it can certainly happen, but I would be very surprised if France were to slip up. Don't you agree with me, Jules? Don't you see France just a little bit ahead of everyone else in this competition so far?
I see your mind games for sure, and you trying to jinx us, but no, more seriously.
On histoire qui mal y pense.
No, but I agree with you. But then you could also look at the 2 fullbacks, for example, which we've highlighted all through this tournament as certainly not at the level of the 2 centre-backs and probably the 2 midfielders, even in Chouameni's absence, and certainly not the front 4 or even the goalkeeper. So even us, I think, have some flaws somewhere in that game that could be exploited by Lamine Yamal, for example. I don't fancy Lamine Yamal against Lucas Digne if there is a potential France against Spain semi-final, for example. And I think the game against Morocco will be very interesting in 2 teams that will attack, and it will be quite open. And to go back to Dion's points, the one with the less mistakes might win. But I think of all those 7 plus Switzerland or Colombia that have already qualified, I still think that the French front 4 is certainly the front 4 or the attack that has impressed the most. And we used to say that you win World Cups with the best defense, and sure, it happened many times in the past, no problem. But I think this front 4 can also win the World Cup for France purely on this incredible attacking talent that they have.
The reason I was saying it was wide open, Tim, was Morocco shouldn't be underestimated, should they? I know you saw them in the opening match against Brazil, and they've been a little bit up and down, but the path that they have been on since the last World Cup, I don't think you can rule them out.
No, I don't think you can rule them out, but I think they'll be harder to rule out in 4 years' time. And I think that's where they're planning. Remember, they are the current world under-20 champions. And I think their whole project has been based around that. That could help them. That could take some of the pressure off. But I find France, the attacking potency of France, I find it very, very impressive. And I also enjoyed the way that they came through the Paraguay game. It was shall we say, it was a different kind of challenge. Welcome to the Copa Libertadores, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the stuff that I watch every week. It was relatively mild by our standards. I can't see what you lot are all. But they didn't get wound up, did they? They didn't get too wound up.
If you look at the teams that are left, and you look at the teams that still have gears to go through, England have done what they needed to do, which was, they've wringed everything out of their energy and their quality level. So we've seen exactly what they can do, and that's them at the top. That's them at the top. France, I think, still haven't seen. Tim's right. We still haven't seen France at their best yet. They're just purring at the moment, and they've got to this stage in the competition. I still think Spain have got so much more to give us as well.
Great.
Argentina have done what they need to do in regards to dig deep and get through this game today. So there's not many teams left that have gears to go through apart from those teams I've just mentioned.
But you never know what else may affect things. Is it? Tim mentioned, Jules, the Paraguay game. Well, Michael Olise got booked in that Paraguay game. The Athletic have been reporting that they might look to try and rescind that yellow card, the French, which, sounds impossible, but then I suppose if Macron picks up the phone, you never know what might happen.
That's true, although I'm not sure anybody picks up when Macron calls. That's the problem we have, But yeah, I saw them, and I think I put it in my ESPN report after the game against Paraguay. I saw some member of the staff straight after the game near the mix zone, and they said straight away that was never a yellow card in a million years, and that they were checking, and that was even before the whole Balogun saga and Trump saga, etc., etc. So they were quite optimistic and positive. I don't know what will happen there. It's very unlikely that Michael Olise gets another yellow card anyway, considering not that he doesn't defend, he works hard and runs a lot and defends and presses well and everything, but he just doesn't make fouls really usually that gets him a yellow, and that was not even a yellow. But you're right, anything can happen, and I find this France v Morocco game fascinating, and it's another one of those historically huge ties between two countries, a former colony, obviously. There's 6 players in this Morocco squad born in France. The French midfield could have easily been on Thursday El Ainaoui and Bouhaddi together, but wearing the blue shirt, not the red shirt, for example. And all of that, Issa Diop at the back, similar story. And I find that quite fascinating. The Bouhaddi story in itself is great, not just because he's one of the revelations of the tournament at 18 years old, in case you hadn't watched him for Lille or in the Champions League before or in Ligue 1, etc. But because there's a big debate back home now in France of should we have let him go like this? Is it okay to lose him to Morocco in a way? Because it's somebody who captained the France under-21 when he was 17, who celebrated when France won the 2018 World Cup, who wanted to come to this World Cup with France initially. And because Deschamps felt that he was not ready to come into this squad, that he was better than Kanté or Zaire Emery or Kone or Rabiot or Chouameni, then he could not bring him in. That Zidane, who is the next head coach for us, who called Bouhaddi before Bouhaddi decided to go for Morocco. And even Zidane said, listen, I love you as a player, you're great, you're only 18, but I can't promise you anything. And then I think that kind of made his mind up, and then Bouhaddi chose Morocco, and I'm sure he's very happy now because look at where he is, and now he's the top of the town. But for another discussion, he would have played for France tomorrow or Thursday and not for Morocco, and it would be a weird game for him to listen to the two anthems, for example.
Suryavanshi, by the way, is out in the cricket. He was caught behind for 13 off just 5 balls, and India are 33 for 2 off 3 overs. We had a stat on Saturday night, Dion, on the telly when we were doing France-Paraguay, that Mbappe, Olise and Dembele, their goal involvements for this tournament are at the same numbers. They are identical numbers, the 3 of them, for Ronaldo, Ronaldinho and Rivaldo at the 2002 World Cup. But they were the numbers for those 3 at the end of that tournament after Brazil had won it. And that's what France have. They have a trio that you can put up there with the greats that have been at the World Cup, maybe just behind them because they haven't won it yet as these 3.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, it's ridiculous the amount of talent that they have. I mean, Jules is being very modest, and I just believe they are still the favourites for me going in because of that front line, because of what they have on the bench, because of the stats you've just thrown out there, Chappers, and because they're only, in my opinion, they're only in third gear, fourth gear. They haven't really been explosive yet. We haven't seen them devastated on the pitch, or devastating on the pitch, should I say. Whereas if they are, I'm not sure who's going to stop them, genuinely, Chappers, because, with those kind of stats you're throwing out there, they're only going to get better and better.
And I do love those stats, Tim, because it shows that even though they do have a main man, he isn't necessarily the main man when it comes to end product. Do you know what it's not Norway have Haaland and then another two around him, or even Argentina and Messi. So that they have their superstar, but they have a triumvirate.
The depth of talent that they have, it's frankly, Jules, it's not fair. It's not sporting, the depth of talent in the French squad. I saw back in March, and this has proved very important to where Colombia are now. Back in March, I saw France reserves destroy Colombia at full strength, absolutely massacre them. And Colombia have had a little rethink since then. As so often in life, defeat is an important step on the path to success. And the reserves for France were playing with such a, if you'll pardon the expression, such a joie de vivre. It reminded me a little bit of the France of the 80s that we all fell in love with. That midfield. And sometimes I think that's been missing, that kind of joy. It's been missing from some of the Deschamps sides. But now they've got it. I think when they need it, that they've got it. It is truly remarkable, the amount of talent that they are producing.
If we move on to the other side of the draw, who worries you most as a Frenchman on the other side of the draw, Jules?
I don't know. I'm not too worried about Argentina, simply because, and we can talk about them maybe a bit later. I think there's things missing in that Argentina team that when they get to the top teams like England, like Spain, like France, even Colombia, I think if they beat Switzerland, could really trouble this Argentina team on many levels. I think England, the win in Mexico was huge. Not so much the way they played, because I think they can play much better with the ball, but in terms of the character they showed, one of the greatest wins for me in England history, in England football and World Cup history. I like this Norway team, the A team, not the B team that the French played against in the group stage, obviously. But I still look at Spain, and I think Spain is, for France, for us, the biggest contender here. More than England, more than Argentina, more than Morocco even on Thursday, the quarterfinal. And this is not a Spain team that for me has hit the heights that they had 2 years ago at the Euros, for example. There's still a bit of work to be done for De La Fuente and this team to get to a similar level to 2 years ago. And yeah, I watched them yesterday, and at times they're patient, at times they can move the ball really quickly. They've got Lamine, who is the X factor. They're maybe not as good as 2 years ago, but they're still a very threatening team. And I think the one that would worry me the most is definitely Spain.
Well, the other thing with Spain, let's do Spain-Belgium next, then we'll come back to England-Norway. But the other thing with Spain, Dion, is they haven't conceded a goal.
Yeah, and that's possibly a side to them that we weren't expecting because of the way they play. Because they play so methodically, what I would call, they want to play the beautiful game, and they play it so well. And they play it so well because every single player in a Spanish shirt is moving to get the ball or finding an area where they can get the ball, so the person on the ball always has an option. That's the only way to play out from the back. They do it so well, and when they do go forward, Chappers, and they are in the final third of the opponents, watch the organisation of the defenders to make sure that everybody's in place just in case they lose it. That's the difference.
They do look, I mean, the numbers just tell you immediately though, Tim, that they are the strongest defensively. They beat Uruguay in the group stages as well. They've gone through things with an absolute minimum of fuss.
Yeah, the Uruguay game was probably their worst one. I was astonished at how open they were in that game. The ominous sign perhaps for Jules is that I thought that against Portugal it was by far Rodri's best game. I think he's been struggling a little bit in the tournament, and he looked to be in some kind of rhythm. Yamal is still short a little bit, isn't he? But the hope will be that if that is the meeting, they'll be that little bit better. in a week's time. So I agree with Jules. On looking at the entire field, the biggest threat to France is in their own half of the draw, and it's Spain.
You look at what galvanises teams, and we'll come on to England, as I say, in just a moment, Jules, and what you pointed out about their character and maybe how that galvanises them as a squad and how they're viewed as a squad. But Belgium, who have been incredibly, I was going to say dull through quite a lot of this tournament, workmanlike, shall we say?
Say it.
Yeah, well, they
exactly
have been. I feel like I've done quite a few Belgian games, and I haven't exactly been out my seat on them. But that was not the case last night. They were out to prove a point last night.
Yeah, and I think the best team they could have faced in this round of 16 was the USA anyway, especially even more with the Balogun kind of like saga, as we mentioned earlier, because I think the US got carried away very early and far too quickly in this tournament. Belgium were underwhelming. You're right, dull, average. I think average is the right word for what we've seen from Belgium before. But yeah, to play against such a naive USA team in a way was perfect for them. The game plan from Rudy Garcia, which was not very difficult. We could all see the patterns of play from the USA before, what the physicality and the intensity they bring when they don't have the ball, how they go wide when they have the ball. It was not too hard, I think, to put a good game plan together. Then you drop De Bruyne because he's out of form. You drop Lukaku because he's more efficient off the bench. And then you rely on Tielemans, Trossard, who've been your best players so far. A bit of magic from De Ketelaere, and then you're there. Your two wide players did a really good job without the ball. And then you're Belgium, and suddenly you look like a different team than everything we'd seen previously in the tournament with the help of the USA and this whole, Balogun thing. And now you're Belgium, you think, okay, we are in the quarterfinals where nobody really saw us being there halfway through the group stage even. When they could not beat a team like Iran. And now we're here and they have nothing to lose. And that's where probably they will be at their best, in the sense that if they get home now, nobody will say it's a bad tournament. People will say, okay, we started slowly, and then there was this, the USA game, the Senegal game, it's a miracle. They should have never won that game, and yet they went through. And now, like you said, Chappers, they're full of confidence, and really nothing can now kind of damage Rudy Garcia or his image, the team. If they go back home now, after defeating the quarterfinal against the European champions, it'd be okay. So I think they're really dangerous just for that.
And for as dull as we all think they have been, they scored 5 against New Zealand, 3 against Senegal, and 4 against USA. But it hasn't felt like a team.
Chappers, if you're looking over your shoulder as Rudy Garcia, and you're seeing Lukaku and Doku and Witsel and De Bruyne, and you're thinking, well, I've got somebody there that can control the game because we're winning. I've got somebody up there that might nick me a goal. I've got somebody in Doku that can actually go in behind and stretch the game. There's so many different parts when he looks over his shoulder that can be affected positively for Belgium, and I think the way that he set his team up against the USA was perfect. Yes, Jules is right, they were fragile, the USA. They didn't have the quality to trouble Belgium, but I just think the way that they went about setting their team up, Rudy Garcia was spot on.
Do you also think, though, Dion, there's an element of, well, actually, you've had plenty of chances here, and no matter how big a name you are, and Jules mentioned them, Doku and De Bruyne and Lukaku, no matter how big a name you are, I'm going to have to try something different here. And yes, you will be on the bench, and I might well need you. And, Doku did come on and Lukaku came on. But we've seen that so many times in World Cups, that it hasn't clicked for a team. And then a coach makes decisions to change it, must, maybe bows to a bit of public pressure. I'm kind of thinking, Bobby Robson in 1990, who after two dreadful group games switched to a back three, and then everything changed there. And all of a sudden, you can have a poor first half of a tournament and gain momentum for the second half.
Yeah, you can, and making decisions and backing your decisions. If they go wrong, take them on the chin, go into the press conference and say, I got it wrong. But he got it right. And I think the other thing as well, there's obviously harmony within the dressing room, because we've not heard anybody being upset about it. Yes, they're not going to want to sit on the bench, but if you're going to back the manager and then come on and then play your part, let's get it right. Trossard's been their best player in this tournament, by the way. He's been their most consistent player. De Ketelaere up front got himself a few goals. Tielemans just does what he does, and I think is such an underrated captain. Doesn't shout and moan, he just gets it done, plays by example, and just makes things happen. So I you know what? Don't overlook them yet.
Okay, we're going to talk England-Norway next, but we're going to go back to Trent Bridge, where India appear, Simon Mann, to have decided they're either going to win this by just hitting sixers or lose by 130 runs.
Yeah, it's been wild, Mark. India just come out playing shots. They've made 52 off 5 overs, but they've lost 5 wickets, all to big shots. Jofra Archer's been steaming in. The ball's been flying here, there and everywhere, but every now and again it finds an England fielder. So Archer's taken 3, Tung has taken 2, Sharma out for 10, Suryavanshi for 13, Kishan for 13, Iyer for 5, and Aksh Patel's just gone caught behind by Butler off Archer for 10. So they're chasing 202 to win. It's 52 for 5. And we only had 5 overs. It's been a crazy night at Trent Bridge.
Sports Extra, if you want to listen to what could very well be the last 10 minutes of that match. 52 for 5, needed 202 to win. Wimbledon on Sports Extra 2 and on BBC One with Novak Djokovic on centre court, and we will go there shortly. Is England's biggest issue for their quarter-final against Norway, Dion, how to deal with Erling Haaland?
Yes. Next question.
Do you bring in Dan Burn to mark Erling Haaland, bearing in mind in 8 games that he's been up against him, Haaland's only scored once?
No, I don't think so. I think that Gehi is our best defender in all departments, whether it's on the floor, organising in the air. I still think that he's the man. Teammates obviously now, so who know his game as well and know what he wants to do. So I wouldn't change it. Why would you? We're in this position because the team that he started have done the job, but we know that Dan Burn's there if needed.
But he also is tactically, I mean, you would hope that every manager at this level is tactically astute. But he's, he's not afraid to make the changes to suit the opposition.
No, not at all, and he may do, and if he does, I'll back him. But at the moment, we seem to have done okay. But I get your point. We haven't come across, I don't think, someone of this level, somebody that just doesn't really do a lot, but when the ball's in the right area, he tends to score, 1 in 1. So I think maybe there has to be steps to be taken for him when the time is right, not before the game.
And against Brazil, Tim, he really didn't do a lot, did he? And yet he destroyed them.
Yeah, this is all down to, and I'm still perplexed about this 48 hours later, the worst substitution I have ever seen made by one of the great coaches. Just absolutely perplexing. And Brazil, for a long period of the game, all right, it was very strange to watch Brazil give Norway the majority of possession, but that's the way Ancelotti set up his side, to go direct and to be behind the line of the ball and go direct. And Haaland was under control. Norway would try to go long for him and he'd battle with Gabriel Magalhães, and there'd be a second ball and Norway would swarm around the second ball, but that was it. Until it's just absolutely perplexing for me. It just makes no sense whatsoever. He brought on Neymar, who looks, and I've seen a lot of him this year, looks like a retired footballer coming on for a charity game. The only place you can play him is up front because he won't come back. That means that Vinny and Hendrick were pushed wide when you wanted them as close to goal as possible. It meant that you didn't have any front press and you didn't have the same quality of marking down the right-hand side of your defence. What is the immediate consequence? Norway, at last, can get service into Haaland. And Haaland doesn't need very much service to do a lot with it. So that's one thing that England clearly have to think about. How do you block quality service to him?
Yeah, because for all we're saying, he didn't do a lot and destroyed them. They did feed him, Jules. They did. I thought Odegaard was excellent the other night. That's before we even get to the performance of their goalkeeper, which got them through as well.
Yeah, Nyland was great in goal, obviously, not just on the penalty, but overall. And I think the changes that Solbakken made at halftime made a difference as well, because Solot cannot start against England on the right wing. It's not possible. You're trying to shoehorn him because you want him to play when really, if he doesn't play central, there's no room for him. There's no position for him there. But then Oscar Bob and Shadrup played really well. Shadrup is a great kind of crosser of the ball, as we saw on the first goal, for example, on the header. And I think that's where the danger will be. Who's going to play a right back for England? Does that changes your pairing centre back? Probably, because Konsa should go there, and then Stones, who knows Haaland very well, if fit, then will play there with Gay probably. but your midfield will have to be spot on as well. Anderson and Rice, not so much against Berg and Berger, but with what Odegaard does and the freedom that Odegaard has in this Norway team to be a bit everywhere and to touch the ball a lot. And then at some point the ball is going to come to Haaland, and that's where England will have to be very strong.
Reece James, Dion, is expected to return for England, so that does help the right-back situation, and probably means, I know I was asking you about Dan Burn, but then probably means he can keep a settled central defensive partnership as well.
Yeah, and more of a balanced team, I would imagine, as well. When you know, as having played centre-half as well, when you know if you're right-side centre-half, you've got an out-and-out right-back outside you. You're not having to take positions just in case. The right-back should be taking good positions up, so there's nothing in behind, nothing in front. The understanding's good, the talking's good, so that'd be great for balance. And obviously he is our best right back at the moment, and if he's playing, we're going to have a better chance of winning.
Let me just finally end on Argentina against either Switzerland or Colombia, and just reflect a little bit more on what Argentina did this evening. Just going back to what we were talking about, Tim, do you think they are all trying to do this for Messi?
Oh yes, yeah, that's what this whole campaign is about. But thankfully for Argentina, and this is the difference between them and Portugal and Brazil, the interests of Messi are aligned with the interests of the team. A good Messi means a good Argentina, and that hasn't been the same for either Portugal or for Brazil. Looking ahead at this game, I think obviously it's hard to judge without seeing it, but I would say at this point, if Switzerland get through, Switzerland will be favourites against Argentina. If it's Colombia, there's a whole different emotional ball game going on there, and that's probably equals 50-50.
Why would Switzerland be favourites against Argentina?
Because I think that Argentina have hardly played European opposition since beating Jules' mob. Sorry, Jules, in the final in Qatar. They played a warm-up friendly against Iceland a couple of weeks ago, and they played Austria. They haven't played a decent European side. So it's a kind of physical challenge which will be difficult for them. And they don't have the kind of, perhaps the emotional thing that they have on Colombia. Colombian football is a little bit like a child of Argentine football, seen in the fact that the coach of Colombia is, more often than not, Argentine, such as Néstor Lorenzo, the former Swindon Town defender at the moment. So there's a little bit of awe with Argentina and Messi from Colombia. Argentina beat them in the final of the Copa America in Miami 2 years ago. Switzerland, I remember being in the stadium for Switzerland-Argentina in 2014 when Argentina snatched it right at the end, and even in the remaining 30 seconds, Switzerland missed the most glaring chance you could ever imagine. I think if it happens again, the fortunes would favour the Swiss, given the fact that Argentina have so little practice against top-class European opposition.
We have seen England, we've seen Norway, we've seen Argentina actually dig in. You know, not win the game beautifully, not play through teams and win it by 3-4 goals. We've seen them dig in when they need to, and I think that's a massive point when you get to this stage. If you're not going to win it the beautiful way or through a mistake or a worldly goal, how else can you win it? Together, and I've seen togetherness in Norway, in England, and in Switzerland as well, to be fair.
Well, you've seen a fair bit of the Swiss, Dion, because they have been based on that West Coast, because they were in Canada's group, and that's been your kind of area. So what have you made of them when you've seen them?
Energy, lots of energy, lots of togetherness. Xhaka doing what he does. He just sits there like the quarterback, gets the ball in his hands and throws it about, then gets it back and throws it about. He's like the playmaster, which we know that he does, and they all respond to him. I mean, and Bolo up top is an absolute menace to try and mark. And Doy, as we know, down that left-hand side, he finds himself on the left. He's very happy, and he's allowed to go down the right as well. So he has a bit of a free rein along the 10 left and right as well. They have good understanding up in the final third area, and what they won't do is they will not refuse to cross it. If you can deal with the crossing, then you'll be okay, but they don't mind crossing it into dangerous areas. They're pretty straightforward and very hard working.
And their average age, they are an experienced squad, Jules, as well. I mean, their average age is 28. Put that in perspective, Argentina's 29 and Colombia's 30. So we've got three experienced squads here.
Yeah, but I think they have the right mix of that experience with Xhaka, Rodriguez, and people like that, Zakaria, and then youth too, because another revelation of this tournament has been Yohan Manzambi, who's missing today through injury, and that's a massive blow for them to lose him. I think he's been Swiss best player in this tournament. He was very good in the Bundesliga with Freiburg last season. He will get a massive move probably to the Premier League, and there's already a lot of English clubs after him this summer because he just has everything, that power that Dion just mentioned, and the sort of physicality that he has, plus the pace, plus he's very good technically. It's a shame he's missing today because they're not as good without him than with him. But they've got that. They've got Vargas and Doy has still young players. Yashari, who's starting today in midfield in replacement of Manzambi, who plays for AC Milan, is also young. So they've got a right mix. The issue I have with Switzerland a little bit is Murat Yakin. I'm not sure he's that great of a head coach on the bench. And I think so far, certainly since he took over, he's been a bit of at times, a too conservative coach, especially with the young talents that they have.
Tim, what's so you said that if it was Argentina, Colombia, then that would have a different makeup to it. Is that